All right. Hello. Welcome everyone to a Thursday edition of the Happy Hour Show. Hello, Big K. How you doing right over there?
I'm doing great.
It sounded like you were enjoying a tasty beverage. What was that?
I was. It's actually
today.
a boozy kombucha and LaCroix mixed, a little half and half. The kombuchas never have enough like sizzle and pop, so I want more chutzpah to it,
Especially for
Anyway.
a Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Are you staking and baking later? I did not get
I
that
don't
memo.
think so.
Okay.
I think we were supposed to do it last week, but you know how we are.
Yeah.
Or,
time can, you lose track of time.
We forget sometimes.
Motley Investor, you're looking great. And what kind of beverage do you have there?
Oh, no. Agua, sir. Agua. And damn, Big K, you don't say the steak and bake stream isn't consistent. Who?
No. It was. Richard streamed during our time slot last week.
That's right. You're right.
And it was like a build up. He was like, "I'm going to be launching in like 30 minutes," and I was like, "Oh, that's when we're supposed to go live. Cool. All right, we might just scrap that."
Fair enough. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good for Cabana. Just throwing off my whole happy hour on Friday schedule.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. So just off the top, the reason we're doing this is I am attending what is being called Fireball Friday in my honor tomorrow. A longtime business partner is throwing me a hasta la vista, happy, trails, ride to the sunset, Cabana celebration. So Motley suggested that I do happy hour from there, and I don't think that would turn out too well since I'd be on my phone, but he would run the show. I don't think you've ever accepted the credentials, sir. So
it's real popular when Big K, J's with Big K.
Big J's with Big K.
Big hit.
Fireball Friday with Cabana.
Fireball Friday.
But that's the reason why. So the next few weeks actually are going to be a little off. Obviously, we're going to be traveling. I say we, Motley Investor. Perhaps we haven't confirmed Big K.
Oh, I'll be there.
Okay, he's going to be there. It's
confirmed. He's
confirming.
Yes. Anybody else? K4K HexRayVision going to Daytona, Florida?
I'm going to Las Vegas, not to Daytona though.
Hey, that's an acceptable alternative, my good man.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, Vegas for me too.
Nice.
Super
what is in Vegas?
What is in Vegas?
Yeah.
It stays in Vegas, that's what.
All right.
It's going to be the awesomest HEX conference to date because double the people of last time. It's going to be awesome.
Nice.
But,
but not next week.
What? Next week?
No, that's in March. That's in March. So we're talking about in another week. But they're saying that they will be in Vegas.
Okay, gotcha.
3 weeks. 3 weeks,
okay.
I think.
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
Who knows?
Maybe K4K's just going and staying. So I don't know.
Oh, nice.
No, I'm not going in a week.
That's a long time to be in Vegas, man. Let me tell you what.
You got about a solid week or 10 days before you're like, all right, time to jet.
Yeah.
Recover.
It's good to see you in good health, Cabana. Last time I was on, you were still recovering.
I think I had the Megatron variant. So yeah, I got past that. It was way easier than Operation Delta during the summer. So
that's good. Good
to hear. But yeah, thank you. Last I looked in Telegram, you wished me good health. So thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
Yeah. No problem.
Good to have you back. And HexRayVision, my man, thank you for coming on and welcome as a first-time guest, sir.
Thank you very much. I'm drinking mineral water mixed with 5-hour energy because this is actually my nap time every day now that I'm retired. So we're blowing straight through nap time with vitamin B and caffeine. And I will be in Vegas tomorrow night to check out Wyclef Jean. I don't know if you guys remember that old Fuji, but he's going to be at the grand reopening of the lights at Mandalay Bay. So I'm just a couple hours outside of Vegas. So I'm going to run down there and check it out and pretend that I'm not the only 40-year-old there.
Hey man, I'd be right there with you. Perhaps the next Vegas trip. Yes, MJ Money says he'll see you all in September at PulseCon. Yeah, I think you'll see me there for sure. Yes, Lost Chat. What's up, chat? Good to see you. Spike, what's going on? legends in the house, and the legend of the Orca will soon join us too. So don't you worry. Yeah, Fuji's what? Lauren Hill, Wyclef. Who else was it?
Proswell.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, Briz. If you want to call it that, go ahead and call it that. Welcome to the raid from DJ Cryptomatic, the Alphaholics. They've been teaming up with some nice raids over there as well. This tweet says it all. Briz is still confused, so just copy paste. What's up, everyone? Exponential, welcome, Hexkin Girl. What's going on? Luis, Cabana and your Miami team, will you guys be helping us out at the Crypto World Con Freedom TV? Be there April 1st and 2nd. No, unfortunately, I'll be there, I guess. Well, maybe. No, I think I'll be in Florida late mid-April, something like that.
April 1st and 2nd.
But if I need an excuse to go, do tell. Slide in the DMs there, good sir.
Oof.
Hey, no.
You said it, not me.
As a joke. All right, anyway.
Oh, okay.
Motley's got jokes too. So, fam, how is everyone doing? We good? We're waiting on Orca here. We have a nice little PulseX themed chat. Did you guys catch his spaces? I guess it was a couple nights ago he was talking it.
No.
Okay, well, that is precisely why I wanted to do this show, to bring that lively discussion to this audience, because there were some great points that he brought it up. He was leading the whole thing, and a lot of it was centered around Richard's tweet, which we can get to later, about the incentive token. And I know K4K, you've made a great video, or a couple of videos you put out in one night about that. The first one was just kind of like pure hype, and I love that one. And the second one was great too. So you guys are all over it, and I'm glad you could be here to join us if you can hang around later for when we get to discuss that.
Sure thing.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think he's interested in talking about what potential options we could have for the incentive token.
Yes.
I mean, that's like, you can just dream up anything you want, because we're not the developers who have to develop it.
Yeah.
We don't need to know if it's possible to build or not. We could just come up with the fun stuff, and then they can figure it out on the back end.
Like, that's super fun, but I don't know.
Do we want to make it too fun? Because we want to keep it at 2 more months. We don't want to go 2 to 3 months. We want to keep 1 to 2 months, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll go through some of the current stories here in crypto and Hex land. I was trying to wait for Hex Orca. Perhaps he's playing me and trying to get out of trivia, because I was going to do that at the beginning of the show, and I think he knows that if he read those show notes. So I'm going to try to wait on Hex Orca to get our crypto trivia in, just for him.
He just ghosting you right now?
No, he messaged me. He said he was running a little late, but he's on his way. So, but perhaps he's running late until he sees the trivia is over, and then, he'll pop in. But while we pass the time, let's get to some fun stuff. This was a fun bit I caught on the Aussie stream the other morning. They always have a good time there. And let me see here.
Being involved in an LP could be an absolute tax nightmare.
So the bottom line is there's opportunities. There's a lot of opportunities out there. There's a lot of opportunities, and goodness me, we do.
And no one's going to know what the ultimate play is until retrospectively.
Ooh, baby!
Look at this.
Check it out.
Damn!
That's a big one, mate. I appreciate that. We all do. The Discourse Network, they use it for.
Okay, guys, I'll take that challenge.
Sure, there's a reason for it. Yeah.
Come on, guys. They buy you gay times, pirate. They buy you gay times with that money, right?
What accents? We ain't got no accent. She.
Over here, that's a lot of money. $1.
Why are you talking Italian?
What are you talking about, eh? What accent? We got no accents here, but you malacca.
Okay.
It's gold.
Oh man, that's so good. But anyway, yeah, always fun watching that stream. And it's also usually very informative as well. But yeah, I think Rackham got his money's worth there, for darn sure. And shout out to those Aussies, as yours truly is a current bitch tit of the week, and I am sharing tits with Hex in Excess.
Am I missing something? What's that? What are you talking about?
The Bitch Tit of the Week award is given to those. If you watch the stream, they do a price guess for next week's show. At what price will Hex be at the time of next week's show? So I think I said like 21 cents and change or something like that, and so did Hex in Excess. So they crown you Bitch Tit of the Week. So yes, that was
congratulations, sir.
Thank you. I will.
That's an Aussie
Wear
thing.
it proudly.
So being a bitch tit of the week is a good thing in Australia.
I guess so.
Yeah,
I will.
of course, bro. Of course.
I will.
Okay, cool.
I will
Good
hold
job.
on to it until next week, until I have to
learn
relinquish
something
it.
new every day.
Yeah. So, and let's welcome him in. I guess he's gonna make trivia after all. HEX
There he
Orca,
is.
man. How you doing?
What's going on,
Do we
brother?
have audio?
I'm having some issues getting the audio to come through my headset, so just give me a second, please.
No problem.
Running into all sorts of issues lately.
All right. Well, wave your hand and I'll bring you back.
He's in the Matrix right now, is what it looks like.
He's in the Matrix.
It's a cool background.
Yes, he's a part of the Matrix. What's up, Chris Hex? Glad to have you here. And nice license plate, by the way.
That is pretty cool.
Hex fam. Yes, we're going to need a bigger boat. And bitchtit.ch. Is that the site, Finbear? Because I think you can post guesses there. Although I think the guessing is closed. You have to have your guesses in by the end of the show. So.
Is Big K sucking on a lava lamp?
Yes. I mean, well, this is a,
For the kids out there, yes.
it looks cool.
yeah, it comes in many colors too. You got this cool purple color, you got this red color, you got the white, you got the orange.
Yeah, like PulseChain colors there. Oh, PulseX colors.
Green, you got the purple. Yeah,
Wow, that's dynamic.
different temperature settings for your lava lamp. Puffco Pro, they're a
Pleasure.
badass piece.
Mr. Anderson requests, Big K, can we please have your Australian accent?
Oi, put another shrimp on the barbie, eh? Is that good enough?
There's only like so many lines you can do with
I know,
Australian. So it's like
I know.
shrimp on the barbie. It's like, well,
I guess
that's
bitch
no
tits
noise.
is a
This
good
is a
thing,
noise. It's all Crocodile Dundee references, pretty much. What it comes down to.
Crocodile Dundee or Dumb and Dumber when he's doing the Austrian accent. That was good. Fantastic.
Orca man, how you doing?
I'm doing all right, you guys. Struggling with my connection over here, I think. So let me know if I'm not coming through.
You're a little grainy, but you sound great.
Yeah, you're supposed to answer with an Australian accent.
Yeah, things are breaking up on my. I don't know why.
Oh no.
Oh, maybe you can't hear us well from the connection.
It's this ranch life, man. I don't have any good internet options.
Starlink, bro. Starlink. That's your only answer.
Yeah, I know. I gotta get in on that.
Go ahead. They'll probably fill your order before they fill Cabana's. So
Oh,
you'll
shut
love
up,
that.
man. I got another buddy of mine who's still waiting too. Yeah.
I was having some internet issues today too. I'm gonna take a look if I can get it down here.
Hey,
Again, shout out to Elon. Thing's awesome.
For Motley, yeah. Have you ever had Rags on? No, we haven't had him on yet, but I'm looking forward to it. He's been doing some great streams. I think he had one with Miyamoto earlier today, so that was good. Yes, they're doing a HEX UK meet in London, 19th of February, 2 p.m. onwards. Yeah, the captain RG3 is going to be there. So doing the Lord's work. I think he onboarded another nice 6-figure amount yesterday. So good for him. Good for him. Him and Funding Jim just like cruising around and doing that. Excellent onboarding. Starlink is super easy to set up. You literally just plug it in and point it in the right direction. That app shows you where to point. Was that easy, Motley?
Yeah, it's great. It's literally, you don't even have an Ethernet cord anymore. So you have power, you have the modem, and then it plugs into the dish. You just give it essentially the highest altitude that you can. So it has the clearest view of the sky. And it just the dish will literally track whatever the closest low orbiting satellite is. And it'll link up to that. And there's your signal. And I've been averaging over 200 megabyte download and like 25, 30 megabyte upload. So it's awesome.
What's the price?
It's only $99 unlimited.
Oh, okay.
The equipment's like what, 500 or something to get started?
Yeah, like $500. Nothing crazy.
Is Finbear footing Starlink?
Oh, it says that I can't get it till 2023 here.
What?
So
find another address, bro. We'll talk after this. Maybe you can use my address and they'll send me another one.
Yeah, I should just cancel mine and then order one from Motley's address.
They're
like, man, this guy lives out in the sticks. We better get him one ASAP.
I'm not in the city either, but it's just like, what the heck, man? I like put my order in like over like I think it's been a year now. So
yeah, maybe Elon just likes me better. I don't know. Maybe he saw one of my HEX tweets.
Yeah. Well, perhaps. What else we got on? Oh, so I guess we were talking about it briefly in the green room. So I guess word leaked out, Big K, of this
oh my God,
Richard Hart Peter Schill debates on the 23rd. What are we thinking about this thing?
I'm very excited. I mean, I'm pretty stoked that we got this all put together so that we can make this happen. It's very exciting.
Can you give details on how it came together or not yet?
Yeah, and do we know? Is it just going to be like what?
I'll be honest. I didn't think I was
YouTube
supposed to. Like this leak that came out, I had nothing to do with it, and I didn't think that we were even supposed to be saying anything about it yet. So I don't know if I'm supposed to give any more details yet. So
but will it be a YouTube video? Something we can watch.
I believe that you will be able to see it like live. I think
live.
Okay,
that would be amazing.
That's enough detail for me.
Because I don't want to wait until the documentary comes out to see it.
No, there'll be. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's more. There's going to be more to it all, but like I don't. Like I said, I'm not like I don't know.
It wasn't supposed to be leaked.
It wasn't supposed to be leaked. I didn't think it was coming out. So cool. I'm excited. I mean, I am very excited about it. I've been, sitting on my hands for a minute.
What's the over under on it? Like, if you were to place a bet on that debate, like,
I mean, if you want my personal opinion, and this is not like I didn't have any involvement in like the negotiate, like no part of that side. So like I'm just speculating with all y'all, but like from my personal perspective, I feel like Peter is like, when Hulk Hogan had like a heel to like, that was like the guy was gonna lose. That's the whole point of
King Kong Buddy, brother.
Yeah. But that's been Peter's game, and he's happy to play that game in crypto in general.
Yes,
like he knows that he knows that's what's going on, but he also is probably, I mean, he takes crypto. He, his kid is very much into crypto, so like, is he still like aware of, the heel still made money when when the wrestling, made money too, like everyone happy together.
It's his business. It's his persona.
Yeah. And it is part of his, exactly. And like, there's like, it is a thing that will be here forever. So like, it's somewhat of a safe bet to play that long, that insane long hand. But like, I mean, again, it's gonna I know that because of the perspectives that are so different between the two different like the crowds that listen to the two different people, that like, you know, there'll be some punching past people, I imagine, you know, in the sense that like, you know, each side will be like, you know, people who are huge gold bugs are going to be like, got him, and like, and everyone else is going to be like, no, that's that, you know, like it'll be the other way. We're like, oh wow, you look really dumb there, you know. So I think that like there's a little bit of that might go on, but like, I mean, that's because both of them are, you know that they have pretty solid talking points and strategies for doing it. And I mean, Peter Schiff is pretty intelligent beyond just gold stuff too. So like, I'm not saying he's not gonna, and like, and people brought up in when it, you know, the Twitter feed about it, that like they do have similar perspectives on a lot of different things, other, you know, basic things, banking and whatever else, you know, monetary policy. So like there's a lot to, I think that Richard always, like, I enjoy the ones thoroughly where Richard spends a lot of time, like, you know, the first half of it is them being like, all right, let's agree on a bunch of shit. You know, okay, now that we've agreed on a bunch of shit, now let me tell you why you're
Fuck
wrong.
each other
like,
up.
That's, yeah, exactly. Like,
that's probably how it would go.
Yep.
Which is, I mean, that's, I mean, no one's, I don't, you know, it's going to be great. I think that, like,
so what,
there's some, there, nobody
this
else
interview
has
becomes a
Peter.
Bitcoin bashing in the beginning,
Pretty
probably.
Yeah. They'll agree on
Bitcoin
much on
bashing.
that.
Yep. Yeah, they have a lot of common points as far as that goes, and then they can transition
identity
on.
block, the Peter Schiff drinking game. Anytime he says gold, inflation, or the Fed, we will all be we will be hammered.
Everyone will have alcohol poisoning within the first half hour.
No one's going to see their stakes to the end. If that's the case, that drinking game is going to be deadly.
The question is, whose audience is going to be influenced more by the other person? I don't see a lot of.
I think we know already.
Yeah, that's
how many Hexicans are going to go out and start buying bullion at their local?
No one's excited to go buy gold.
No.
Well, I've made this point before too. Gold and silver bugs are not really that far off as when it comes down to the ideals of like what the crypto world has.
Right.
To me, crypto is just a superior form of gold and silver because you have major issues when it comes to one, liquidating it, and two, just moving and transportation of it. To me, crypto, it gives you all the things you want, getting away from the government, getting under the thumb, getting away from the dollar getting inflated to shit. But it gives you a lot of things that you can't, crypto gives you a lot of things that you can't do with silver and gold, like moving it, like trying to liquidate. I mean, Gary talked about it. He was going around in the back of his SUV trying to liquidate $200,000 worth of silver. He's lucky that he's still here today. Like,
I don't know how he did that. He did that in like a matter of, was it days or a couple weeks? Because he was like, I drove around and sold a couple $100,000 worth. It was like,
I think it was like a week or two, and he's literally doing it out of the back of his car, like meeting up in parking lots. Like, bro, what is wrong with you?
Dangerous.
I've bought and sold catalytic converters before. I know how that shit is. It's not a shady. It's a shady group that you're probably dealing with when you're on Craigslist selling large amounts of silver to. Is what it's not.
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
You're not attracting the best crowd.
Yeah, I like that one from Dan Smith. He's like, 3 years from now, we're gonna have the receipts on price action over gold and a lot of the other cryptos. So people 3 years from now can judge for themselves the track record.
Yep, exactly. Hey, Get Hex. Good day from down under. That's mine. What up for discussion today? Well, we are going to discuss some PulseX incentive token game theory here, I'd say in about 30 minutes when HEX Orca returns. He is returning. But he does get to miss trivia. You guys do not. Let's dive into it, shall we? Big K, are you ready?
Let me turn my chat off.
Doesn't Big K always win or something? That's what I've heard.
It seems that way. Motley does pretty good
hey,
too.
Listen here. I'm a close second. All right.
Yeah, Motley's pretty close second.
What are your records here on?
We need to go back. I just need to take some time and
Big K's probably pretty close to double digits, and I think I'm like somewhere between like 7 or 8.
Yeah,
probably.
I think Motley's right there in second.
Yeah, I just want to get top 5 today.
I just don't review Richard Hart's tweets enough. Like if I had more time these days, like I prep beforehand, but I just don't. So
I mean, I have a way of trying to talk things out. I feel like you remember that game show. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Yes.
And, like, you have to listen to these people yap in the chair for like an hour. You're like, man, it's a multiple choice. Just
Yo, that would be fun to incorporate lifelines into this at some point. Like phone a Hexagon, and you like you just reach out to them if they're not in the chat, then that's it. Like, sorry, like, like what's the price? Mel Tony, give me the price.
we could do Ask the Audience as well.
Right?
Right?
You could do ask the audience and kind of just give like what the top 3 answers are or whatever. And
50-50.
Yeah.
50 it. And, I like all these. These are all
true. This is true.
But then you'd have to work on some multiple choice questions too. It'd have to.
Yeah. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire might come after you too.
Right. They're open ended.
He likes to give Big K softballs sometimes, but true or false.
Yeah, right. Yeah. You avatarless person, you. All right.
I can come back in. Hold on. All right.
Hey, Lifeline sabotage. Yeah, nobody call Briz because that's exactly what would happen there.
Molly, don't walk into a poll.
I'm good.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
There's all around.
All right. So does everybody just make sure everybody has their chats turned to private here on the show?
We're supposed to do that.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Marion will not be offering
audience
you a
likes to play
lifeline,
along. What's up?
Marion will not be offering you a lifeline.
Good. I wouldn't call on her anyways.
All right. That is my job to try to get you out of the first round. So we start with some current event Super Bowl trivia. Very easy questions, at least I hope so.
No.
I don't know who. I don't even know who's playing in the Super Bowl. So don't ask me that one.
Need 4 football teams. I'm doomed.
Yeah, I like to make money instead of watch football these days. So sorry.
Gotta choose what you're good at.
Yep.
Did you not see the K4K? I don't think you were on the hint, so you'll get a free pass. But it's my job to get you out of the first round, so I'm gonna.
I know the answer to that one, Cabana. So I'll take that one. Thank you.
that was just a Twitter question. Anyway, all right.
Lame.
We're getting into it. Coming up, PulseX incentive token game theory chat. Orca will return here shortly, but let's get to trivia. Big K.
Mm-hmm.
You like the musics, don't you, Big K?
I do.
Okay. Can you name just one of the performers in the Super Bowl halftime show?
Nobody. What the heck? I know none.
Make up somebody. I'm not going to kick you out because this is football fun. This is a special round, so it's okay.
Bruno Aerosmith Mars.
Bruno Aerosmith Mars is not.
Justin Bieber.
Eminem.
Oh, nice.
Dr. Dre. Snoop Dogg.
Oh, we're going rap
That's
team?
gonna be
All right.
sick.
Plus Kendrick
that's a good one.
Lamar
See that?
and Mary J. Blige. So there you go.
What?
Yes.
Well, fuck. That's cool.
Yeah, it is.
Sorry, whoa.
Thanks, bro.
Pardon me, audience, but that's a pretty sick lineup. I'm
Yeah,
more
that's
excited
awesome.
to see the Super
Not
Bowl
Janet
now.
Jackson dance.
God bless it. Kick me off this. I'm done.
This is a fake round, so we'll just fake rug you. All right. Motley, name one of the 2 teams in the Super Bowl.
I might have cheated before we started. Bengals.
Oh, okay. HexRayVision, name the other one.
That would be the Los Angeles Rams.
Very good. And K4K.
Oh no. I don't even know the colors or anything.
In what state is the Super Bowl being played?
Oh God. No idea.
Let's see.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
In what state is
I don't
Los
know
Angeles?
what state those teams are even from. Let's see.
What state is Los Angeles in?
California.
There you go. All right.
Is that actually where the game's being played? Cool.
Yes, it is. All right. Now
Man,
we're
I would have
back.
got that wrong too. I would
All
have got
right.
the 2 teams.
Get-
That's all.
Get
I
Big
would've
K out. Get
Give
him
me
out
a
of
hard
here.
one. Give me a
You
real.
gotta take me for that one.
Let's get back to the normal round. All right. Motley Investor.
Yep. Oh, we switched
Earlier-
spots. Okay.
Earlier this week, Richard Hart won an auction for the world's largest cut. What?
Diamond. Called the Enigma, now named HEX.com.
No, you're giving away all the stuff I know.
Oh.
Yeah. Whoa. Those are the next 8 questions.
Yeah, that was like
Yeah, I was about to say, I can
That's,
give you all
what
the
he does.
details.
Yeah, that's exactly what he does.
I like to ruin the host's answer bank.
But you don't do yourselves any favors because you just give everybody else the answers, and then it comes around to you. And
Ooh,
you know.
true. Right.
No, you got to come up with new questions. Come on now.
You're saying, oh, the Richard Hart tweets. None of these are Richard Hart tweets. Big K.
Oh boy. Let's do it.
Named the auction house who hosted the auction for this diamond. Big K, I'll repeat it for the audience. Name the auction house who hosted the auction for this particular diamond.
I actually almost registered with him so I could get the Louis Vuitton Air Force Ones, but I forgot.
Me too. I was looking at those bitches, but
were you gonna bid on those? You son of a bitch.
I was gonna bid
Me
on
too.
I was, but I mean, like, I couldn't. I mean, in my size, the cheapest one ended up being like 45K or something like that.
Oh
Like, I
yeah,
can't-
too much. I was hoping to go
That's too
cheap,
much
you know.
yeah. Those the Soothbys, which is the answer to the question. Estimated range was $5,000 to $15,000 per pair of those shoes, and they ended
Oh
up
my
all
God.
of them went for over like $35,000.
Meanwhile, the world's largest diamond undervalued by like 50%. Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, so you know how art valuations are. It's like crypto influencers. They're just about as right. They're just right on. You know.
Good job, Big K, by the way. HexRayVision. I don't know if Motley ruined it in his giving out of answers there, but what color is this diamond?
Oh my.
That would be a black diamond.
Very good, very good. And K4K, approximately, and this is a multiple choice because we're in the first round, approximately how many carats is the diamond?
555.5. Which was it again? 5.
Yeah.
Good job. All right, gentlemen.
With 55 facets.
That's true.
Yep.
Motley Investor.
Cabana Crypto.
To the nearest million in USD, what amount was that auction won for?
It was shy 4.3 million.
He's like, it was shot 4.3 million. Yeah.
It was like 4.283 or something. I don't know. I did the conversion from whatever GBP or something.
Yes.
Some weird unit.
Depends on who's screwing you on exchange rates.
Yeah,
Good
right.
job. Thoughtchild, yeah. I'm behind and I'm not yet sure if I want to be a bitch tit someday. I mean, it's equated with winning. So, and you get to hold it for a week. So it's not a bad deal. Not a bad deal. Big K.
Yes, sir.
What name has Richard Hart said he will be naming this diamond?
Ooh, good name.
What
Hey guys,
name?
softballs.
Well, y'all pretty much had to struggle with
Yeah.
the first round. So, what name has Richard Hart said he will be naming the diamond?
A great name. It's fantastic. I was actually thinking it would be funny if they named the incentive token Enigma and then just did random ass
Ooh.
shit all the time. Just like
Yeah.
you just never knew what it was gonna do. You just
What if the token like engaged like a random pumpamental like every month, like it just switched it up, like all right,
Yeah.
today we have no inflation this month, or like the next day it's just like all right, this you can actually stake it, or just like something completely crazy off the wall. It just changes.
55 different pumpamentals all cycling through. And
That sounds
cycles
really
through.
secure.
No issues there.
Who knows what it's gonna do? We don't even know.
We got the best developers of the game. They can figure it out.
Did we ever get an answer?
Yeah, hex.com. he said.
Hex.com diamond.
He didn't say it.
He did
You
say
gave
it.
it
He
to
did.
him.
You
No,
did.
he said
No, he
Enigma.
said it. No,
I
he
didn't
said
say
hex.
it.
He said, while I was ranting, he said hex.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ollie's very good at ranting and still hearing me. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Day 43 asks, I have a question. Who is the bitch tits of the week on the Hex Late Show? Yeah, you're a little behind, bro. All right. I already plugged the show quite a bit there, so yes. HexRayVision. How you doing today, good man?
I'm doing okay.
How well do you know your crypto sparbook?
Fairly well.
What city is tomorrow's workshop in?
San Antonio, Texas.
Oh man, he didn't even wait. Nice work. Nice work.
I dodged that one.
All right, now for our second crypto Sparbuck question.
Oh, no. Yeah, what's their middle name?
What's the next city?
Well, actually, K4K lucks out because we, in my stalling for Hex Orca to get his stuff straight, we actually talked about this topic already. So you look out, K4K. Yesterday, it was revealed that Richard Hart will be debating what famous gold bug on February 23rd.
Peter Schiff. Easy.
Peter Schill, indeed.
Peter Schill.
Motley Investor.
And a crypto.
Name the Hexagon who was on last week's show that launched a Daytona 500 site for Hexagons just yesterday. Name the Hexagon who was on last week's show that launched a Daytona 500 site for Hexagons yesterday.
You let me know when I can answer. Once the audience, has participated and all that fun stuff.
That's right. We like to have audience participation.
Are we good?
Yes, we're good.
Okay. It's one of our favorite pandas, Quarter Panda.
It is the Quarter Panda.
I know because I've been working on them with it.
See, there you go. You got a softball as well. Hey,
Yeah.
Big K.
Yeah.
What is the URL for this website?
It was like
Doesn't
Hextona 500 or there's another one too. It's like Hex Daytona. Couldn't get Hextona. But he got
I
Hex
feel like Big K
Daytona.
knows the answer. He just plays
I think
with
he's
us.
just
He's like
walking through
he's
them
like
all.
a cat. He's like a cat with his food. He knows.
We only asked for one, and he just gives us both casually.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll pick the right answer eventually. Don't worry.
I think they're both right. They're both. I got both the answers right.
You got to pick one. Does he?
Oh, but wait, but don't they go to the same site?
Yes.
No.
One's redirected
no.
to the other.
No. He didn't get. Man, God, you were the worst host. You don't even know the right answers, Cabana.
What are you talking about? No, we didn't get Hextona.
There you go. There you go.
Not,
It does. Yeah, it does not redirect HexDaytona.com.
The Hextona 500 redirects to Hex Daytona 500.
Hex Daytona 5 or Hextona 500 does. Yeah, and then Hex Daytona does.
Yeah.
Those are the
Hextona.com got bought already.
Yes.
Yeah,
Hextona
Hextona.com,
500
those are us-
redirects to
I was
Hex
adding
Daytona
that.
500.
I was on the show. I remember.
This brief aside, Day 43 explains there's an interesting story behind it. It means the same in Oz as it does in the US. It's an honor to win bitch tits. LOL.
Wait,
See?
so
High honor. Thank you.
but is that? But does that really mean the same thing?
I don't.
I'm
I
not
mean,
convinced.
if it's like summer down there and winter up here, does it really mean? Good point. Fair point. Yeah, it could be totally backwards. I don't know.
I'm just saying that, like, I've never been somewhere that it's an honor to have or to be referred to with the name bitch tits. That's not. That's not.
It's a cruel.
It's not
It's a
like-
cruel joke the Aussies play on the Americans. Like, yeah, no, it's an honor. It's an honor.
Yeah. And I'm
Enjoy
like,
it.
it's never where I've been. It's never. Usually that's what you say to like the chubby dude with bitch tits. I mean, like
No.
that's.
No wonder why Richard Hart is our king.
King.
I mean, he gets
The
it.
Aussies love him.
I'm just saying that's. I get it now. If that's why I get it now. That's some full circle stuff. But I still don't. Yeah, they call each other cunts. No question. That's what I'm saying. It's like I was fine with letting it go because I didn't get it because I barely do. I love them, but I often do not understand what is being said.
All right. All right, well, let's get back to this trivia game because we do have Hex Orca standing by. He is once again out of the Matrix and will be with us shortly. HexRayVision.
Yes, Cabana Crypto.
This will be a know your hexagon kind of question. Name the hexagon who was a guest on last week's Happy Hour show who recently got hacked. He also joined Wales Only and Papa B for a stream since then. I'll say it one more time. Name the hexagon who was a guest on last week's show briefly. He also recently got hacked. He joined Wales Only and Papa B for a stream after that.
Is his handle Hex Gym Rat?
Gym Rat Crypto, we will accept.
Close
I'll
enough.
take it. I'll take it.
Just say Gym Rat in your
Gym
Close
Rat.
enough for Hex Happy Hour.
That's right. K4K.
I still. Oh, one sec. I can't believe Jim Rat gave his seed words to his secretary.
That
What?
was
Bro,
That was one of the messed up.
He did everything wrong. It was give his C words to the secretary. Get his mom bought him a ledger off Amazon. He was onboarding randos that he met at the gym, left them alone in the house with his crypto computer. Like just like everything. Like
But
everything
to
not to
give
do.
it to someone else is like
Yeah, just like here,
most
rob me.
egregious. You're like, you have no idea what that lady did with it, nefarious or otherwise. It's just, you know,
Hacked.
horrible.
Yeah, yeah. He did everything not. He's the poster child now of what not to do when you start off.
Oh, man.
K4K.
Yeah.
Dessert.
Name the hexagon whale who just yesterday pitched in a cool $500,000 for the highest of stakes documentary.
Rackham Rochelle.
Very good, very good, very good. All right, gents.
That was pretty sweet of him to do.
Yeah, it was awesome, man. What a killer gesture.
It's awesome.
$529.
Just so they knew it was him.
Motley Investor.
Yep.
Earlier this week, Richard Hart tweeted,
Uh-oh.
Bitcoin seized $4 billion worth. Apparently the blank hack. What is blank?
Apparently the blank hat.
Hack. H-A-C-K.
Yeah.
Yeah. Earlier this week, Richard Hart tweeted, Bitcoin seized $4 billion worth. Apparently the blank hack. What is blank?
Blank hack. I have no fucking
It's
idea.
an entity.
I
believe in you.
Yeah. I mean, I know the individuals and all that stuff. The IRS.
The IRS got hacked?
I don't know, bro.
Imagine if they did.
I'll look at the Richard's tweets next stream, maybe. So dumb.
Why are you mad, bro? The answer is Bitfinex.
The Bitfinex,
So,
yeah.
You've been rugged.
The homegirl that was part of that is some epic level
That
stuff.
is a trip story.
Dude, those rap songs are hard to listen to.
Have you? Oh, I was looking for them. I couldn't find them.
Oh, they're like.
I heard she was a rapper. I was like, I've got to listen to
Yeah,
this.
she's on SoundCloud. I had somebody if you go look at Jameson Lopp, he tweeted a tweet link of her SoundCloud, and yeah, I see what she's doing, like,
I'm not sure what her goal was. Like if you
I
already
mean,
have that, what are you doing?
I don't know, man. I don't know, man.
Like what?
It's crazy. It's like one of those. It's one of those
Hiding in plain
like,
sight.
Hiding in plain sight. Like
Maybe.
it's like look at how crazy I am. I'm actually that crazy. Like it's wild. But yeah, who knows where that all goes. I mean, it's really like I'm more interested in seeing what happens with Bitfinex and the government over this, because the government seized it. They don't really particularly enjoy or like Bitfinex. There's some rub there, so like the Bitfinex has already paid back their customers, I believe, so like who gets it and when do they get it and how and why, and like when is the government just going to hand it back over to fucking Bitfinex? I don't know. Interesting.
Yeah. wasn't. I think it was like $71 million worth at the time it got stolen, but then it just turned into what it is now because appreciation.
Hey, Big K.
Yeah.
Earlier this week, Richard Hart tweeted, "I'll save blank if I have to. I can teach the masses how BitTorrent works. Who is blank?" Earlier this week, Richard Hart tweeted, "I'll save blank if I have to. I can teach the masses how BitTorrent works. Who
I remember this. I
is
remember
blank?"
reading this. Hang on.
I want a chance to steal, and then you can
Can't wait to
straight to
steal.
K4K.
No.
Okay,
It's a new dynamic we'll introduce one day. The steal.
Yeah, I like the steal idea.
Steal.
I've felt that feeling before. Can you read the question to me one more time?
Can you use a question in a sentence?
Earlier this week, Richard Hart tweeted, "I'll save blank if I have to. I can teach the masses how BitTorrent works. Who is blank?"
He wanted you to read the answer sheet, not that question.
Joe Rogan.
Oh, you got it.
Very good. The answer is Joe Rogan.
Yes, I had to dig deep for that
Yeah,
one.
he
Not gonna
pulled
lie.
that one
I was
out.
like, I was like, I don't know if I know this. And then I was like, but I do know it. It's right there. Got it.
HexRayVision,
Yes, Cabana.
referencing someone's bad loan experience. Earlier this week, Richard Hart tweeted, "Cryptocurrency was invented to get rid of the blank. DeFi solves this. Bitcoin would be more fun with privacy. Who are the blank?"
Say that one more time.
Cryptocurrency was invented to get rid of the blank. DeFi solves this. Bitcoin would be more fun with privacy.
Oh, middlemen.
Who are the blank?
Who are the blank? Let's go with
And you said it. Good job.
the middlemen.
Yes, very good. And also, I stubbed my crypto.
I thought you were urging him to say the specific name as well.
Well, leave that to I stubbed my crypto. But yeah, anyway. K4K. Where are we here? Earlier this week, I'm going to run out of questions, maybe. You guys are good. Earlier this week, Richard Hart tweeted, "Watching the PulseX.com devs test some features, I could see staking PLSX to get the incentive token, but not PLSX, as there is no blank."
Inflation.
Is that
That's
a
my final
thinking
answer.
inflation? Oh, final answer. Very good. The answer is inflation.
So bullish on PulseX.
And we're going to talk about it quite a bit.
I hear it'll be all right.
Orca's still there, fortunately. This trivia is taking forever. I'm going to bring him in the steal, and he's just going to win the game at the end. he's shaking his head no in the green roof. Okay. Big K. Yesterday, Richard Hart tweeted, "Blanks, get the word out. Some news agencies know that the diamond was sold, but not to whom or for what purpose. Who are being referred to with blanks?" I'll say it one more time. Richard Hart tweeted yesterday, "Blanks, get the word out. Some news agencies know the diamond was sold, but not to whom or for what purpose. Who are being referred to as the blanks?"
Well, this sounds like a call to action. So I'm gonna have to go with hexagons. I want to even go with there's a hashtag in there too. It's a strong call.
Very good. Very good. There is a hashtag there. So good job.
Hexagons.
HexRayVision.
Yes, Cabana.
The fancy natural color black diamond Richard Hart won the auction for and renamed was originally known as what?
It was originally known as the Enigma, although I really liked it what the newscaster called it. I'm not sure if that's a question yet, so I'm going to leave that.
True, I saw that. That was funny.
That is not a bonus question, but what did the newscaster say? Because I know.
She called it an enema instead of an enigma.
The enema black diamond.
Enema
You can tell in her face that she knows what an enema is.
Yes. She had an oh shit
said
moment.
it And then she was like, "Yeah, that's right, enema." And she was like, "Weird, huh?" And like look at the audience, like, isn't that weird? You know, and like not realizing that she just can't read. It's fantastic. It's amazing stuff.
Oh, all right, here we go. K4K. Last week, Richard Hart simply tweeted, "I wouldn't take blank advice from the internet." What type of advice is blank? Last week, Richard Hart simply tweeted, "I wouldn't take blank advice from the internet."
Tax are legal, and I'll just go with tax. Final answer.
K4K. Tax is correct. You made the right choice.
50-50 myself.
50-50 yourself.
50-50.
Hey, Big K.
Yes, sir.
Richard Hart recently tweeted, "If you're not letting people hear your songs to silence someone else's voice, you're blank." What is blank? Richard Hart recently tweeted, "If you're not letting people hear your songs to silence someone else's voice, you're blank." What is blank?
Bad. I don't know. I can't. I'm not sure on this one.
He didn't dig deep on this one.
I might have to dig. I mean, yeah, I might be out, y'all. This might be.
He said you're bad.
I know what he's talking about. You're naughty.
Brought Molly back just to laugh at you.
Is it you're
5 seconds.
corrupt or no? You're a bastard. No.
3.
I'm done.
2.
You're a fascist. I don't know, man. I lost it.
No, Big K. You're retarded.
Wow. Oh man.
Should have known.
That was the answer. That was the answer. I'm not calling you.
I mean,
that was the answer.
It's a double entendre right there.
Yeah, they got me good there with that one.
Yes. What's up, Vince? Sorry about that, Big K.
Oh, man.
Big K is still in it if HexRay and K4K go out here. So here we go. HexRay.
Yes, Cabana.
Name the hexagon. And these get harder, by the way, as you can already see. Name the hexagon who recently made the Richard Hart Last Crypto Samurai video.
Oh,
I watched that.
I was seeing this on Twitter as I was scrolling. It's not Hex Mac. It's not Hex Machina.
I'll repeat it one more time for the audience. Name the hexagon who recently made the Richard Hart Last Crypto Samurai video.
I'm gonna guess it's Maximum. Oh shoot! I'm gonna go with Hex Enema on this one.
Amazing.
I cannot think of the right name.
Hexagade.
The answer is Hexagade. HexRayVision.
All right, I'm back in.
No, you're not. Shut up. All right, there we go. K4K. This is for the win. Yeah, I hope you do win because I'm running out of questions.
Word.
Here we go. Where is my question? It's back up here. All right. Richard Hart and Peter Schiff are set to debate on February 23rd. Name the hexagon who's responsible for making this debate happen. Richard Hart and Peter Schiff are to debate on the 23rd. Name the hexagon who's responsible for helping make this debate happen.
I don't know if it's public knowledge. I know it was, but I thought it was Funding Gem.
Is that your final answer?
Final answer.
The correct answer is Funding Jim.
Oh my, it was? Okay, dude.
K4K, you are the winner of this week's Happy Hour Trivia Challenge. Congrats,
Sweet.
my good man.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
I feel
absolutely.
honored.
Well, as customary on the show, the winner of the trivia challenge gets to address the audience. So take it away for a second there, K4K.
Oh, sweet. What's going on, everybody? I don't know how many people are here. Let's see. We got comments going on over here. How's everybody doing? K4K wins again. Let's go. I don't know if I won before, but I definitely won today. So this is an awesome day. Let me try and turn the cam on here.
I believe you're a first-time winner, sir.
First-time winner. Word. Let's see if the cam works. It's frozen. Okay, we're not using the cam. Not gonna say what Dan Smith said in chat. But this was fun. I'm so glad Cabana had me on. And I got to hang out with these awesome bros. We're going to see each other in, hopefully, Las Vegas. I hope everyone is showing up to that. Got at least 600 Hexkins showing up. It's going to be so much fun. This Hexkin community is the best community I've ever been a part of in my whole life. Just the best people you want to meet, best people you want to talk to, hang out with. They're my best friends all around the world. You know, this is a global community. And we're changing the world, everybody. With crypto, we got to get more people into crypto. And these projects are the most performative. Who doesn't want to get into something that increases your buy power more than anything else, which increases your speech in this world? If you have more monetary power, more buying power, you have more speech. So I'm very excited to empower all the individuals of the world by spreading the crypto word, getting people on board, and getting people into these projects with a founder whose ultimate goal is to empower the humans of this planet and not the powers that be constantly stealing from us through the Federal Reserve System, which is basically a cartel. So I am so excited to be a part of this, and thanks for having me on, Cabana. This was super fun. And I'm really excited to talk about PulseX and these awesome projects that we're all a part of.
Well done. Well done. Well done.
I like Dan Smith's comment, the Enema King.
I was like, oh, that'll be a part of the speech forever.
Oh, man. All right. Well, we do have some awesome PulseX chat coming up. I'd like to welcome back HEX Orca. Are you good now, man?
I think so, man. If I get rugged again, it's just fate. They don't want the game out there.
Your mic, bro. Your mic.
Is it bad?
Yeah, you sound underwater. You might be coming through the wrong microphone.
Okay,
yeah, that'd be weird if it was coming from that big microphone you got there.
Yeah, it might be coming from a computer mic. But we can at least hear what you're saying, so do stay. But yes, all right, well, we have a growing audience with us now. So we have the PulseX incentive token game theory chat here coming up in a sec. Just a couple more items to get through. Where are we? So we did discuss this really quick. So this one here. What, if any, implications, Big K, do you think this whole headline could have? I know it's like a cool marketing hex flex kind of thing, but people have yet to know who this Richard Hart man is. How can this possibly benefit our community and / awareness? You're muted. You're muted. Big K, you're muted.
Named hex.com. That's a good start.
That's really smart.
They're all gonna know his name when he puts that thing inside the laser and points it at the moon. That's what it's
the hex.com moon rocket. Something like that.
No, that thing. I mean, it's like it's funny because the first wave of like Richard put out that tweet because I mean I noticed that the first wave of all the publicity on it was like somebody bought this, like there was no, and it's not like Richard was did not he was very much claiming it was him, so I mean like more press on that, please. That'd be great.
Yeah, and it was cool that they actually had the Richard Hart tweet link in there. So I think more and more people who are reporting this are actually
there's a lady from they are getting it right. There's a lady from the Wall Street Journal, I think, that does art stuff that is pretty on top of what's going on, that she started to now incorporate Richard, like is like, okay,
there's a bunch of articles.
Yeah, Kelly Crow is her name.
Yep.
If you go to Rabu Sensei on Twitter, he's reached out to like, I don't know, 12, 15 different news sources, letting them know who actually bought the diamond. So if you just follow his tweets, you'll see everyone that's kind of learning about that. It's Richard.
Awesome. Perfect.
X-Ray, any thoughts on that one?
On the diamond?
Yeah, just like what it could long term, awareness for Hex, more of a flex, or to me, he's renaming it the Hex.com diamond. Surely he's like using it for a purpose.
Yeah, someone was crunching the numbers and said if Richard Hart had sold those original Bitcoin that he was mining back when it was like 50 cents or 25 cents, he would have spent about $50 of Hex. I'm sorry, $50 of Bitcoin to get the $4 million in, for the diamond. So imagine buying something worth that much for $50 by simply using delayed gratification, right?
Yeah, it'd be about 100 Bitcoin, which would just be like 2 block rewards back in the day. That's that one.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I can't wait for the Bitcoin maxis to figure out which crypto he used, or that he's the founder of.
Oh yeah, I mean that part's awesome, and like it is cool, like you said, for the longevity of it, like the long term thing. Like anybody that is into diamonds and researches it and goes, hey, what's the biggest cut diamond that there is? Oh, it's this one, the Hex.com diamond. That's weird. Why is it called that? I don't know. Let me go take a look. Oh, there's this Hex.com as a thing. Okay, and it's like, I mean,
I talked
strange
about this
real world NFT.
Because I got a jeweler that's working on a Hex and Pulse piece for me, and I was talking to him. I sent him the article. I was like, hey, our founder, because I was telling him about Hex.com when obviously I was getting the piece design, and I was telling him about the cryptocurrency. I was like, hey, just so you know, our founder just bought the world's largest cut diamond. He's like, no shit. He's like, are you serious? He's like, the gym world's been like a buzz trying to figure out who bought that diamond. Yeah, he's like, everyone's been going crazy. He's like, and I was just like, yeah. I was like, I sent him a video of Richard like announcing it's like our founder was the one that bought it, and then I told him why he bought it, because of the significance of the Quattro Cinco and all that stuff. And he's like, dude, he's gonna have a whole new group of people coming to check him out and see what's up. And it's smart, right? Because diamond industry, it's a luxury goods, right? So it's luxury goods, it's world record. You rename the stone your freaking URL. It's just it's
I love
amazing.
that he did that.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. There's your advertisement in there, and the name itself, he just named it as the URL, and people are curious. They're gonna come, they're gonna check it out, and then a certain percentage of them will be hooked and stay and try it out and find out what Hex is all about. So I think it's a brilliant move, and he got it for quite a steal. I think they were estimating like somewhere around like $8 million it would go for. So
yeah, it's not like 6.
I think he did good.
Yeah, 6 to 8 is what I saw. So I was like, wait, how did he get such a steal on it? And I can't believe it only goes for $4 million, and it's the biggest one. What?
Yep.
And it just happens to be 55555. It's like what?
Yeah,
okay, this is like destined.
I want to ask Richard if we could have it as like a hood ornament for the NASCAR, just like slap it on there. That'd be awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, and who was it? Hex McKenzie had a great tweet here.
Yeah.
Best meme of the week. It was like 2.0. PulseChain.
That's actually amazing. Looks like an ether rock on the left.
It's awesome.
It's awesome.
It was so good.
So cool.
Yeah. Yes, Robbo 555.55 carats, 55 fastest, 4D chess. Yep. Yeah. Too bad the anti-freedom of speech. Yeah. Media. Yeah. I have a feeling, but I mean, it'd be in their benefit to do so, really, because of his personality. I've always said that, and hopefully, maybe it's something like this that sparks that. Hexy Quinn, I believe Vince and Jenna are out on a date this evening, so no Vince.
Ooh.
So, no. He actually had prior obligations. So yeah. Rackham's like, I love the hood ornament idea. LOL.
He would.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Let's see. Yeah, Orca is on his way back here, so should be in here any second. So we'll finally get to this PulseX incentive game, incentive token game theory. So if you missed it, he hosted great spaces. I guess I shouldn't get too far into it till he gets here the other night. And I was just, asking guys earlier if they, heard any of it. And a lot of guys said, no, I hadn't. So I was like, oh man, it was a bunch of really good ideas thrown around in there. And it's all, kind of fun and, ideas that we can put together. And then, hey, devs, what do you think of this? And have a look at this kind of thing. So
yeah, I think he was plans to write it all down in some format. And then
yes, he's doing a
easily digestible. In my opinion.
Yes, and speaking of,
I'll be
right
right
back.
Can you guys hear me okay?
We can hear you, man. How you doing?
Yep.
All right. My connection's still really sketchy, y'all. Things
That's
are
right. We
freezing
can
on
hear
my
you
side
good, at
sometimes.
least.
Well, that's
Yeah,
better.
so
then.
yeah, K4K was just saying, and I was just kind of introducing this next segment here. So you held a spaces, I guess it was a couple of nights ago, and a lot of the Twitter audience heard it, but perhaps for a couple hundred that are in our audience now, and the guys in the chat here, I thought it was just a great kind of idea exchange, and which you led there. And I know you said that you're going to be kind of putting everything together in a video on your channel, which I can't wait to see. But I did want to possibly bring out some of those ideas there, and pretty much throw it around the room here, because I guess to just quickly summarize, so we have the completed product, which is HEX, right? Mm-hmm. And it is what it is, inflates at a max percent per year, trustless yield, yada yada. Then we have PulseChain. PulseChain, what it launches with is pretty much going to be the supply forever, or the max, and then there will be no more of that. So then we get to the PulseX token, which we're going to have the buy and burn mechanism. And the thing there is say if you're doing these incentive tokens on other platforms, a lot of these other tokens, they'll offer the same token as the incentive token, which just leads to kind of this feedback loop of selling that token, and it kind of makes the price stagnate. So you were tossing around, and a lot of the great contributors in that space were tossing around possible ways that additional game theory, as if we didn't need any more, and hopefully this doesn't delay anything, but possible it ends to this means closing the loop, if you will, for this incentive token. So you want to, I guess, start it off, take it away however you want, and
sure,
go for it.
So this, I think my game theory would definitely delay PulseChain. So. But the idea was, like you said, these other platforms, they have dexes that allow you to do a single asset staking pool, and the reward is typically paid in that asset that you're staking. And if you take a look at charts that do that, like Pancake Swap and Sushi Swap, of course, they had a really nice appreciation early on, and then they seem to sell into oblivion. Their prices are still higher than what you would have paid for the sacrifice or even like early adoption, but it's not a great model in my opinion, because it seems to create sort of a disenfranchising mechanism where later adopters don't really stand to gain the capital power of the asset that they're staking. So my idea was, if you took the incentive token that people could earn for any incentivized liquidity pool on the PulseX DEX, right? The DAO votes and decides which pools they want to provide the incentive to. And perhaps the DAO would vote because people seem to really like the idea of staking without impermanent loss or providing liquidity without impermanent loss. And so they would stake PulseX. My idea was, what if you allowed the incentive token to be delegated to PulseChain validators and then incorporated a mechanism that we are familiar with in HEX, where you can increase the weight of the delegated incentive token's power in terms of what you stand to gain in the profit sharing by locking it up for an amount of time. So it would give you the opportunity to farm incentive token in PulseX or even buy it off the open market, presumably at a significant discount to PulseChain coins because PulseChain is deflationary and a fixed supply. And by taking the incentive token and locking it up, you're now creating the first use case that also presumably creates price support. And it also gives you the opportunity to earn the gas or the unit of account on the blockchain itself. And so if you can imagine a world where PulseChain over the years increases its adoption and the price of each PulseChain coin is becoming much, much more expensive, we know that when we look at Ethereum, it's a fraction of 1 ETH to pay the gas, but a fraction of 1 ETH can be extremely expensive. And there's no way, unless you own Ethereum mining equipment, the same as Bitcoin, that you're going to get your hands on that blockchain's native coin. So we have PulseChain delegation, where you can stake your PulseChain coins on validator nodes, and you can stand to earn profit sharing in the pool. What if you could take the incentive token and earn a smaller proportion of rewards, but still paid in PulseChain coins? And what you're now doing is providing the support by time locking the incentive token, which gives real reduction of sell pressure, so that when people are providing liquidity in the dual asset pairs that the DAO is voted on, they actually stand to reason that there might be some profitability in selling that incentive token back onto the market.
Well said. So is that, I guess you started off with saying that unfortunately this idea would probably extend the 1 to 2 months that we've heard for the past 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 months for PulseChain. Is it fall in that category to where Richard would be like, you know what, we can figure this out later. Let's get PulseChain going, or just this is all like opinion, but how do you think he would look at that?
I think it definitely that's the beautiful thing about a blockchain, right? It's not an immutable code. So I do think it is something that you can tack on later. But the beauty of it is, in addition to giving a real use case or a real price case for the incentive token that would otherwise, right now, I mean, who cares if you earn it from staking up PulseX? If it's not PulseX, then you're just getting this meaningless token, and the only thing it's going to do for liquidity providers is be an opportunity to sell it into oblivion. So imagine the additional benefits. The price is the immediate benefit that everyone can recognize. This incentive token now has value in the market as it's being used to obtain PulseChain, which is a gas fee, or I just call it the unit of account on the blockchain. Then it also increases the level of security of the network. So everyone who's a Bitcoin maxi always touts how secure their blockchain is. Well, if you imagine increasing the level of competition on the part of delegators by incentivizing them to increase the amount of capital and increase the amount of awareness that they bring to their delegating responsibilities, they are now going to have an additional incentive to seek the highest quality validators who provide the greatest amount of uptime. And the reason for that is, if you incorporate this time locking value to the incentive token, whereby you can imagine a curve, and as the amount of time that your incentive token is staked, you increase the rate at which the critical mass of your delegation accrues PulseChain. while your incentive token is staked, the pulse chain that you stand to accrue is also locked. So you only gain access to it at the end of your time commitment. If you breach that time commitment, the pulse chain that you stand to accrue now becomes reallocated to the other delegators and the validator proportionately. Additionally, it increases the level of competition on the part of validators, which provides the network with an ecosystem where validators now have a reason to provide the greatest amount of uptime. Because you can imagine that if a validator that I'm staking this incentive token to goes offline or creates misdemeanors and felonies and now they're no longer in the rotation, that would be an ending of my stake. And I need them to be online as long as possible in day terms, or era terms as it's called in PulseChain, because the longer that they are on, the further out I can commit my time lock and thus create a greater, longer pays better reward on this incentive token staking. Exactly, delayed gratification. By doing this, essentially what you can imagine is if you committed to staking longer, you deserve a greater maximum bonus, and the speed at which you begin to recognize the bonus in terms of your critical mass should increase faster, because it's meaningless if you don't commit to your truth engine obligation. And if you stake for a shorter amount of time, your maximum bonus is smaller, and you increase the scale of the weight of your stake at a slower rate, thus creating the inherent incentive for people to stake longer, commit to their stake. And in my game theory, if a validator goes offline who you've been staking to, that fulfills your commitment, which is why you should increase up the curve at a rate. It shouldn't be a linear flat incentive, because if the person that you're staking to goes offline in a day, maybe you didn't even get close to your peak potential longer pays better reward, but you still earn the pulse chain or fractions of a pulse chain that you had accrued to that point. So if a validator is able to stay on for a year without interruption or without falling off of the rotation, you can now recognize your peak benefit and accrue that peak benefit for the longest amount of time. And it should be, balanced so that pulse chain coins are still a far more equitable reward on the delegation side than the incentive token. But this is something that creates onboarding experience for people long into the future, and even allows us to bring liquidity in the form of like wrapped incentive over to Ethereum, where people might come into the PulseChain ecosystem just with the incentive token to begin staking it for PulseChain rewards. And as long as they're willing to trade their time for value, they now have the opportunity to perform transactions and use the PulseChain because they're accruing the unit of account as opposed to having to use fiat dollars to obtain PulseChain.
And see, this is what everyone misses when they miss out on Twitter Spaces. Not only this wonderful brain here, but all the ideas that bounce off of it and the conversation that ensues from it. So thanks, man. Just the chat, reading from the chat, I mean, they're blown away by this. Motley Investor, how do you feel about, this overall idea of creating? I know we don't like, possibly delaying PulseChain if it came to that, but just the general idea of this part for the incentive token.
Yeah, so it all sounds good. I think having it out in RIN format would be better for me to visualize, because I do better just actually visually being able to see what HEX Orca is talking about. I got the gist of it. The only issue I have with it is obviously the amount of coding that would go into that would, like he said, obviously this would push it back way further, and it's going to make the system a little bit more complicated. My viewpoint on it is a little bit more simplistic, where the incentive token doesn't have to be too crazy to bring value to the table. A lot of people are talking about like, oh, well, what's the incentive tokens? What's going to give people reason to buy it or what have you? Like, if you go back and look at any of these tokens, Cake, Uni, all these tokens, like they've all done these great run ups. They've all made a lot of money. I think Richard talked about just having essentially obviously the token inflates, but then reducing that inflation over time, kind of essentially the same model as Bitcoin, right? It's just, okay, Bitcoin inflates, it has its happenings, but it continues to inflate less and less every time. So even something as simple as that has proven to be a pumpamental that gives the token value. So for me, I almost want to do the KISS method and just keep the incentive token more simple. But I like HEX Orca's idea, and I like to see it like written out so I can go over it and try to poke holes in it. And but I don't think there is a right answer. It's just kind of brainstorming and see what makes the most sense for most cost effective and long term.
Yeah, I mean,
Go for it.
yeah, I like it. I mean, I like some parts of it too. I have to sit down, like you said, and see some numbers on exactly the percentages that we would want to make each the extra amount that we have. I mean, I'm almost interested in, making the buy and burn side of things or whatever we were thinking that be some of the reward, like be part of the reward system as well. Maybe not, maybe like, I mean, I just think that like there's some value in making the rewards be in PulseX too, possibly instead of just PulseChain. But I mean, I guess PulseChain is going to be the thing that will be able to make the most gas fees over time. I don't know. I think that it's a good. I mean, I think it's a great idea to like have some sort of other supply sink in general for this incentive token. I'm like a time lock supply sink speaks to all of our hearts, So like that part is also something that I like, having a reason to do it makes sense. You definitely want to have some pressure to something to be able to make sure people are want to keep acquiring this token. Like I said, it's just got to be enough of an incentive for people to do that out of whatever the reward for validators is going to be over time.
To kind of piggyback on that,
that's a balance that
of course, and the math behind that's probably complicated, but like we said, you could, if you drew this out as a roadmap, you can still just have it say, hey, and in by the time we get this finished, this could become a deployed feature. So now there is even just the speculative forward-looking value of, oh, there will be this significant use case. So right out of the gate, you still have the true incentive in essence.
I do feel like that's a good call there too, that like in general, we have to remember that this is a fluid project that will, I mean, there's not to say that Richard doesn't like making forward-looking statements, but things that, if he does have, hey, we're going to be working on these things. He's got a list of 4 things right now that we know are being worked on. So like,
and for me, I think it actually empowers whales and the smallest, minnows or whatever they're called, shrimps or something in the ecosystem, because if you imagine 2 whales that are competing for the greatest amount of reward in the delegation process, the PulseChain supply is limited. So if we just opened up the ecosystem with only whale number 1 and whale number 2, and whale number 1 has the most PulseChain coins, assuming that they copy each other's delegation strategy, whale number 1 always stays in the lead ahead of whale number 2. But if you introduce this secondary opportunity through an inflationary token that allows you to increase your weight in the delegation, whale number 2 could go and buy up open market incentive tokens to pack onto their PulseChain delegation and thus ramp up the competition in terms of who's going to earn the most PulseChain in the ecosystem. It doesn't have to be significant. I'm not claiming like 1-to-1, but it creates that competitive buy pressure.
I imagine that you wouldn't even have them buying up. I mean, it would create another incentive on
PulseX as well.
And in the best way to probably earn the token would be to provide liquidity on PulseX or
exactly.
It
so
hits
like the liquidity, the staking, and the ecosystem.
Yeah, if you know that you're going to push up the price of PulseChain too much with your huge buys, then why not just instead of buying PulseChain on the open market, why not provide a lot of liquidity in USDC or PulseX or whatever whatever you can that isn't going to move the market against you, to gain as much incentive token as you can to hopefully pull, like I said, pull ahead, which would be it's just an interesting theory. That's the part that's tricky, is that when you add in this other layer of variables, then like that's when that's why why HEX is so awesome, is because it is such a closed system. And so like there's this structured layer of variables that like all works within it itself. As soon as you start adding these other layers to it, I'm not saying it can't work, because we see that those things have that they have been there's other chains that are working and doing these similar things. So it's not to say we can't. It's just you have to model that stuff out carefully.
Of course.
Don't want runaway inflation kind of thing. but I like it. Like I said, I love the time locked supply sync, of course. I mean, like
Right.
it does.
And because the incentive token's only earned on things the DAO votes on, the DAO now controls sort of the balance between the inflation of the incentive token and the ability to onboard PulseChain users, ad nauseum into the future. Because if you reach a point in the ecosystem where the onboarding has plateaued and the people in the ecosystem are doing their transactions, we have the burn on PulseChain, we have the burn on PulseX, and then the DAO could either turn off, throttle down, throttle up the incentive token on that single asset staking pool or all the other pools in general. But by doing that, you create reflexivity throughout the system. And so having the DAO control the inflation essentially through the variable APYs that will be applied to various pools, I think it gives a real community-driven control over where capital flow is being treated best. And so then if you take into the idea that there's now a reason to buy it up off the market because it'll presumably always be cheaper than PulseChain because it's going to inflate, whereas PulseChain won't. So unless demand for the incentive token exceeds the demand for PulseChain, the increased supply over time is going to create a more equitable or lower cost opportunity for you to at least get your foot in the door with PulseChain. And by staking, you utilize your time, you trade time to turn the clock backward and earn PulseChain coins that you otherwise couldn't have bought for that capital. So your fiat is now rewarded in the time value of money in an opportunity to obtain the gas. And I think that one of the things that makes Ethereum the only blockchain that could do this is currently PulseChain, because the blockchain also comes from the same founder as the DEX. And so Uniswap doesn't do that for Ethereum because Ethereum and Uniswap are not the same entity. And Uniswap can't just guarantee you Ethereum unless they pay for it and do like a buy and swap and allocate. So by creating the incentive token into the delegation status of the blockchain itself, you close the loop and you keep the value in the ecosystem while always keeping the door open for new adopters. But it increases the competition of all of those who are already in the game as well. And it further secures the network because more people have an opportunity to look at the quality of the validators and align their delegations accordingly.
HexRay, before ask for your take. HEX Orca, we were talking, Big K was talking math and numbers. Will this be in the upcoming video that will be published on your channel?
This is going to be talked about a lot. I was just saying, I'm glad.
I was going to ask Orca, but
K4
go ahead.
Here, but no, go ahead. I was going to say they're here. We're going to be doing a tech talk on Sunday. We're going to be going deep into this, translated into English. My understanding is that we've got a pumpamental for PulseX, right? Like you're talking the incentive token. So how do we create a pumpamental for the pumpamental? So it doesn't just get sold into oblivion, right? And I love some of these ideas that you're coming up with. And I love the fact that we've got a new product. I fell in love with HEX because it was locked, it was finished, and you could trust it, you could rely on it. But we've had so many awesome ideas since the invention of HEX. And now we have people like HEX Orca or people like Crypto Kool-Aid who think in 4D. They think exponentially, where we're like kind of following along, trying to put A, B, C together. They're thinking of these huge things that we can implement on an ecosystem and an evolving network, just like PulseChain. So I get so bullish, and it just blows my mind when I think of the amazing people we have in this community. So I'm just sitting here like I'm sitting next to a campfire, just getting warm.
So I guess this is, when I look at it, this is why I think that it's a pump-o-metal for the entire Richard Heart ecosystem. Because if you think about HEX inflates, right? But we know that it can appreciate, especially against the dollar. We know that PulseChain and PulseX don't. So the only way to get the incentive token is either by providing liquidity or staking PulseX. Let's say that you don't have a big enough bag to provide liquidity safely. So now it's, can I afford PulseX and just stake it and trade my time to get the incentive token? Maybe I can't. Well, could I deploy any amount of capital to earn HEX and stake HEX, and then in the future reap the rewards of the time value of money, take that increase in my capital to acquire incentive token or PulseChain, and then delegate those, utilize time value of money to increase my PulseChain bag. And PulseX is being burned if you do the single asset stake, presumably, if it's going to have the same buy and burn mechanism as a liquidity pool. And if not, you're still giving the whales a real reason to go and provide liquidity where the DAO deems it's best. And the DAO is ultimately thinking of where the volume is or where the volume needs to be. So that's the fundamental on PulseX. So you can use HEX as a leapfrog into PulseChain. You can use the incentive token or PulseX as a leapfrog into PulseChain. And now you've kept the capital within the PulseChain ecosystem. And you've, number one, Richard says we need to onboard new users for PulseChain. Well, here's a pumpamental that gives you a reason if you're a whale, that's who he ultimately cares about primarily. Now the whales have a real reason to bring their capital over because this is Cake on steroids or Uniswap on steroids. It also gives them an opportunity if they were not aware of PulseChain initially. It increases their opportunity of gaining PulseChain over time because they can presumably buy up a shitload of the incentive token, stake it, they have time to spare, use that to earn PulseChain. It gives everybody an equitable opportunity to become more competitive in the delegation pools, which is a constant upward price pressure on the incentive token, which will be sold into oblivion as it inflates, and thus remains more affordable for the newcomers 10, 15, 20, 30 years down the road. Ethereum, you need Ethereum mining equipment. Bitcoin, you need Bitcoin mining equipment. HEX, you get to stake HEX. That's your mining equipment. Incentive token, delegate it. That's your mining equipment for PulseChain. The same as the PulseChain coin is already your mining equipment for PulseChain. And because when you think about fees and unitary bias and things like that, when you look at what a gas fee is, even if in USD terms, a PulseChain 0.0001 PulseChain coin, maybe one day that costs $10,000 in fiat. But imagine being able to buy a much more highly inflated incentive token, which is very cheap, and getting just a little scrap or crumb here of PulseChain. And if you're willing to wait longer because you understand that you just don't have the capital to play on day 0 or day 1 for your own investment terms, you take the incentive token and you stake it out significantly longer. You're looking at the validators who are always at the top of the board and they're never getting taken out of rotation. And now you're earning this compound reward for patience in PulseChain terms until you finally break that threshold where now 0.0001 PulseChain is in your pocket. So maybe you didn't want it just to sell PulseChain. You just wanted it to do a couple transactions just to be able to stake more HEX, just to be able to get into this new project, whatever it may be.
Hey, K4K over there. How you doing? You still with us?
I'm still with you.
Absorbing all this wonderful goodness.
Yeah. I really appreciate all the thought HEX Orca has put into this.
Thanks.
Yeah. Like I was saying, that the spaces are just phenomenal. And I at least, wanted to try to at least get some of these thoughts to a different set of audiences because a Twitter audience is different, than a YouTube audience. And what I was about to ask you before we get to K4K real quick, Orca, I think you were said in the private chat. So you're going to have stats and numbers. Actually, when you finally do this video, it's going to be nice and detailed. So I want to definitely tease that because your channel, I think, didn't you just cross 100 or 1,000 subs?
Yeah, thanks Hexicans, just got 1,000. And as far as the math, this is something that would take a little while to hash out the math, but I'll explain it especially in shapes because when you look at like price charts, you can recognize up into the right and you can recognize how long it took to start going up into the right, how hard it's going up into the right, if you will. So by utilizing some visual aids, I think it becomes very manageable. And then it comes down to the real, big brain 4D chess of what creates the equitable balance so that you're not disenfranchising the current ecosystem. Yeah. And I think it can be achieved.
Yeah. And we'll definitely get you to shill your channel at the end of the show. Hey, for Kenny, man, what are you thinking about all this? I know I loved your video, I guess a couple nights ago about PulseX after Richard tweeted out. So are you getting more excited just listening to this, or do you have ideas or feedback on it? Where
the better the incentive token is, the better PulseX is, because then it kind of feeds on itself if you can just get it for free. Well, the one thing you guys mentioned earlier that is probably one of the biggest things is these people give value to this stuff because we're betting on the future. Like, that's why we give this stuff value. You wouldn't buy it now if you didn't think it'd do better later. So that's pretty much all you need with crypto. And so even the fact that even if there was no development for the incentive token, there's always the thought that if there was ever anything developed, wouldn't it be great to hold a bunch of this stuff? And that is all that's worked and been needed in the past, is that there's the potential for future development. So the fact that you have all these great ideas, and even if you hadn't done any thought on it, you were just like, hey, there could be potential future development. That's enough for any whale to be like, this could be a side bet. I just get a bunch of this and hold it. And that's what holds the price up. So it's not this infinite dump. I don't think that's going to happen, because it hasn't happened with Uniswap, hasn't happened with any of these other ones. And like Uniswap, you can't, like for a while there, they couldn't even make a proposal because the team owned too many of the coins, and the people couldn't even make a proposal because you needed like certain millions. And so you couldn't even vote with it. It was literally the definition of duct tape on token. It still did like 50x or something. So I do think that it would be great if there was extra functionality. Like if you attached HEX game theory, like the HEX mechanics, to literally any coin, you're like, that would probably help with reducing supply out on the market and probably help the price. But I think Richard purposefully doesn't just add HEX game theory to every coin because he doesn't want competing products. And yeah, so I think as long as there's ever the potential for future development, which there is, because crypto is like money Legos, I think the incentive token will do its job fine. But if we can ever, as a community, like you're doing, come up with good stuff that works, that we can potentially get the devs on board with, then that would be great for everyone, right? If it's better, then the system just works better. So yeah, I'm happy to hear and see that diagram once you have it done,
Of course, yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Cabana.
I was just going to say, like, part of Richard's, I guess, glory mindset is to not create something, at least the way I take away from it, is ideally everything that he creates or puts into development will have some sort of value. So why end it without closing the loop and just have like this off ramp into oblivion or whatever for this incentive token? Because if there is a way, and if it takes a couple of extra months, I hate to even think that, but if it does, why not close that loop and create this, incentivized compounding, if you will, because it just, it feeds off each other, like you were saying there, Orca. So yeah.
And when you think about delegating the incentive token, it actually becomes an economic opportunity cost arbitrage. Because if you're, like K4K said, you're betting on these things getting better in the future. Okay, well, if the incentive token outperforms PulseChain from a perspective of X's, you still have your incentive token. If PulseChain's value greatly outruns in X terms the value of the incentive token, you're earning PulseChain for staking. The staking reduces the sell pressure. Then you can think about how that interplays with HEX. So the difference, K4K, is I'm not saying that you were insinuating this because I know you weren't, but in terms of the HEX game theory, this is slightly different, because if you think about HEX, you have a guarantee trustless yield, right? You can stake it for 5.555. With the incentive token, it's not trustless anymore. The yield comes from validation of transactions on the network. Now, it's trustless in the sense that I'm not giving up.
Talking about your system that you thought up?
Yeah. In this game theory. So it's the incentive tokens yield from a PulseChain point of view is not trustless because I require the validators to pull it off. However, I'm not risking losing anything. So it's trustless in the sense that I have nothing to lose unless I commit or I penalize myself for breaking the commitment. So when you look at...
Okay, go ahead. You go ahead.
No. Go ahead, man. My brain is kind of all over the place because when I came in on the rug pulls, it was tough to get my mind right.
Hey, well, actually, your audio and your video is like perfect now, so I don't know what you did.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good. I changed locations.
No, it was just because you were saying it's not like HEX because HEX is trustless, so you're arguing for the incentive token to be less trustless?
It's not less. All I'm saying about the trustlessness is like when you do HEX, it's just you and HEX. But on this incentive game theory token, if you're going to delegate it, your trust is now in the hand of the validator to stay online, because that's how you get your best rewards. If they fall offline, you still earn what you accrued, but it's not as beneficial as if they had stayed online longer and allowed you to compound your bonus, your longer pays better bonus for longer. So that's the essence of securing the network or increasing the security of the network, is you're now seeking out validators who always do the right thing, who always keep their node up, who always keep the validation online, because now you have a real possibility of utilizing time to achieve outsized returns on a PulseChain unit of account. But it's only possible if you're willing to commit to the time.
Well, aren't Pulse holders already doing that when they choose? Like,
of course they
the
are.
highest APY that they can get. So they're just
of course they are.
that.
But now imagine you and I are both competing over who can get the biggest share of the biggest APY. If we both have the same amount of PulseChain, you either have to go and buy PulseChain off the market. I'm cool with that. Pumps the price of PulseChain. Or maybe you can do just a little bit of damage by getting more incentive token and delegating that. And I'm not saying that the incentive token would be like a 1-for-1 weight. You would have it proportional to reward PulseChain delegators.
It seems risky to build that kind of code into what we use for the actual blockchain itself, you know? To add in all this extra,
how so?
Like, you don't want it to be very complicated for
it's just delegating a second token.
Chain. To add in all that extra code just seems
sure.
risky.
Okay, so here's the workaround, right? You create a smart contract where you have maybe myself put a boatload of PulseChain off to the side, and then you can take your incentive token and you can stake it into my smart contract. Trustless yield will be a mutable contract where you still stand to receive your incentive tokens back at a later date. And you are now competing within the pool of the people utilizing my smart contract. And I will deploy my PulseChain coins among all of the validators who are online to earn PulseChain. And then whatever proportion of the pool of people staking into that smart contract represents the proportion of PulseChain rewards that you stand to gain at the time that your time commitment comes up. So you could do it entirely peripheral to the blockchain.
So like I mean, I have to. It's like I'm not able to see the whole.
Yeah,
picture.
it's really tough to just talk it out. Obviously.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I got to see that diagram, so I know like are the delegators or the validators are able to choose because you're saying you do it with the incentive token. Maybe I'm just misunderstanding it, but you're saying like you can have. They can choose to give away any coin for rewards to these people who delegate to them.
Yep, like my audio's breaking on me. Say the last part one more time, please.
You're saying like you create this smart contract that allows these validators to give out rewards in any token they choose?
No. So I would, because you need to delegate PulseChain to earn the profit sharing, which is paid in PulseChain from the current standpoint of the blockchain. So I take a big old bag of PulseChain and use that as a pool for delegation on validators. And you interact with the smart contract with your incentive token and say, hey, I'm willing to lock off incentive tokens off the market. And that represents my proportion of this pool of PulseChain that is going to be delegated on the current validators. And whatever we earn.
Who's setting that up?
Exactly. So that would be like a founder's PulseChain, or you could continue to add PulseChain into the pool if you wanted to create some, I don't know, third token. I don't like that kind of stuff. I don't like to like add a token. So in this case, I would just have the PulseChain off to the side of my own, which there presumably would be many coins. And then you would have the opportunity, if you say, hey man, this incentive token, I'm not doing dual pair asset liquidity. I don't have a huge bag. I'm just a guy that got in the PulseX Sacrifice. I'd like more PulseChain. This is an opportunity for you to earn it for free. You just have to take the incentive token that you're getting from your single asset pool stake, throw it into the smart contract. Smart contract deploys the delegation of PulseChain.
Whoever's like putting up, you said it's like a founder puts PulseChain there to be available. That means that they might have to have like who's deciding the value of these incentive tokens to the amount of Pulse available that they can get credit
just be
for.
Proportional. If you're the only person interacting with the smart contract, the entire pool of PulseChain is delegated, and any amount of PulseChain that it earns is paid out to you back with your incentive token capital at the end of your time lock.
It's like yeah, theoretically you can do literally anything with smart contracts. So it's like it's possible probably, but usually we try to pick stuff that it's like, oh, this has already been done and works and hasn't been hacked.
Sure.
Whereas I highly doubt he would try doing something that's never been done before, without, that's just
right. I mean,
there's a couple good questions here. One was how much longer would this slow down development? And the other one was by Brissology, how does the pool of PulseChain refill? Because eventually that pool would run out.
How is a PulseChain pool that's only delegating to validators run out of PulseChain?
All right. Wait, are you asking the question again?
I'm just asking how when you delegate your PulseChain to validators, how does it run out?
Well, they would be paying out this reward out of the pool, I guess is what Brissology is saying. So how would you
it's paid out in the rewards, the profit sharing earned PulseChain from the delegation. The pool is just a stack, it just serves as the critical mass, and then all it does is delegate, and whatever it earns during the delegation process, that is what's paid out. It's not paying out of the pool, it's paying out of the newly earned profit shared PulseChain from delegation.
It almost seems like you're deciding, instead of the incentive token getting infinite dumpage because people are getting it for free from PulseX staking or whatever, you're then now making it Pulse that gets infinite dumpage because you just have the incentive token to get free Pulse.
The interesting thing about a blockchain is that I don't think that the native coin on the blockchain is meant to just be hoarded by everybody. I think that's why inflation is actually used in capitalism, is to incentivize the deployment of capital. So having people utilizing PulseChain, whether it mean that they sell it or swap it or use it for transactions, is still always going to create a burn on the PulseChain. And then it's also going to create, if you're going to swap it for something else and you think that's what's dumping the price of PulseChain, then that's doing the buy and burn on PulseX. So no matter what you do, the capital is still, if it's going to leak at all, it's leaking into the ecosystem that already exists.
I don't know if that answered my question, but that's kind of what it seems like you're doing, because you're saying incentive token now gets Pulse for free.
Not for free, for time. Is your HEX for free?
It is free for time, but yeah, it's like
for time, right? So does your time have any value, brother?
You can apply HEX game theory to any coin, but I don't think Richard's plans to do that. That's just.
I think that time has value, and I think that Richard didn't invent the time value of money. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, if you lock it up, then it removes it from supply. Yeah, okay, true.
Just wanted to jump in. Friend of the show, Scotty does know 10 minutes behind the incentive token is what I've been most bullish on since 6 months ago. Also, you can't time lock the incentive token as what if the validator drops out of the pool, then you're stuck.
No, so the way that it works is that if he drops out of the pool, the reward that you've accrued, and the reward is locked until you finish your contract. The only ways it can finish is you go all the way through your time lock, or you emergency end stake, pay penalties, forego all of your PulseChain that you stand to gain. Kind of use the reflexivity of HEX in that regard. Maybe you serve half of your time, and so therefore you don't lose any of your incentive token capital, which would, if you broke it under half of your commitment, that gets delegated out to all the delegators and validators proportionately. And then thirdly, if the validator falls off, you receive what you have accrued, and that's why the bonus of the critical mass for the longer pays better bonus would be on an exponential curve, where you need your incentive to stay in the game longer in order to get up the ramp for how much critical mass it's actually worth. And if you stake longer, that increases the slope of your critical mass to get to your maximum bonus.
He goes on, or the validator could just suck, then you're stuck with that and can't delegate your stake again as you're locked. It's a shitty user experience.
I don't understand how it's locked. I think we're making something up there.
Yeah.
Does Robo's condensation, does his simplification of this, is that what you're trying to say? So he's condensed it into a couple sentences here. He says, simple, he's just postulating a game theory where you can get leverage on your validator node by joining a pool, which via smart contract can pay in or out any PRC20 token denomination. Is that a fair simplification of what you're going for here?
It's close, but it's not quite on the ball. So the pool will only pay out PulseChain, and the reason for that is because it only earns PulseChain, and the reason for that is because the pool is delegating PulseChain in the validator node network, which the reward in there is PulseChain. So your locking up incentive token gives you an ownership of a pool of PulseChain that will be deployed in validation delegation, and whatever rewards of PulseChain it earns, you earn proportionately to all the people in that pool. I'm not sure if leverage is the right word, unless you're talking about it from like a mechanical standpoint of like the power on one end is stronger than the input.
So basically you're saying that the incentive, if you stake your PulseX, we get this incentive token, right? And you're saying if we
the DAO decides so.
If we, instead of just dumping that on the market, you're saying let's come up with a way to stake that token as well and tie it into a way to incentivize the validators to compete harder
for the security of the network.
I dig it.
HEX Spartan, it's really not that complicated. Just allowing the incentive token to participate in a pool of delegated pulse. That's it.
The reason that I would rather it be integrated, and like that's the secondary concept, but the primary concept of individuals delegating it the same way that they can delegate PulseChain is that now it creates a greater competition standpoint from the whales. If I'm competing as a whale and I'm delegating my PulseChain and I'm earning PulseChain and somebody else starts eating up that reward by creating a larger proportion of PulseChain, now I can go out in the open market and buy up a ton of incentive token and back it in with my PulseChain delegation to just increase my weight a little bit without going into this deflationary token PulseChain, which would therefore become exponentially more expensive over time.
Patrick, so we can stake the PulseX token? No, but Richard's tweet hinted at that possibility because stream after stream he was asked, can we stake it? Can we stake it? Kind of like Pancake Swap. And I guess it was really popular because it's, single-sided staking. You don't have to worry about impermanent loss or anything like that. And I think that's the appeal to a lot of, more, I guess, I want to say simple-minded users, but users with, less time to manage such things and keep an eye on liquidity pools and, have to constantly, have an eye on their crypto. Scotty had one more comment, but I think, oh yeah, the incentive token is my baby. I'm super bullish about it. Wish you guys wouldn't stream it these times. Okay, yeah. Sorry, man. I know you're on West Coast time, I think, but yeah, come back on sometime. Hexagon. So can we take our incentive token, pair it with Pulse, and yield farm more incentive token?
Not in my game theory. Maybe it's someone else's.
I didn't think that one.
Bristology's cracking me up. He says like trying to figure out a word math problem in real time while creating the math problem into words.
Yeah,
right. That's real talk.
Yeah, I just want to bring this comment up from Wally Source because I've seen this from a few users in chat. I think Get Hex posted it earlier, a variation of it, but it's like you guys are making this too complicated for the average user, and I think once it's explained, it'll become less complicated, especially if Orca or a Richard Hart would do the explaining. At the same time, I see this point, and I also recognize it because it's like, okay, well, we look at Hex and the Hex Telegram, and then we look at something like PulseChain, and people see that as something more that's easily comparable to an ETH, faster, quicker, more efficient. So they understand it. So could there be, a worry here that, people will be like, oh my gosh, this is like HEX, it's too hard kind of thing? Or
Sure, just don't use
could it
it.
be explained, I think, easier or similarly to a HEX? And then you
Here's,
just throw your
I think
hands
this
in
is
the
the
air and be
easiest
like,
way to explain it. The most important thing to keep in mind is that it's a totally optional play. It doesn't change at all how PulseChain already works. So if PulseChain's not too complicated for you, congratulations, you're doing it. You're already winning. This is an additional opportunity, and you probably need to recognize it is. That's, why it's an incentive. You have to understand that your time has value of some fiat amount greater than 0. And if any number of person uses this idea, any number greater than 0, you have reduced the opportunity of maximum sell-off in the incentive token, which is a value proposition greater than 0 for the incentive token, which currently has no value proposition other than maybe people will speculate and buy it. If you look at the pancake chart, would you be highly incentivized over the last 6 months to buy pancake or buy cake?
Probably not.
Well, most things the last 6 months look bad.
Sure. But do you think that it's, do you want to buy a token that the APY of earning it is not able to overcome the price depreciation of its own inflation?
Sounds like a loaded question.
Right. Which is probably why those price charts all look similar.
Hey, Motley, you're back. What say you down there?
What's up? I mean,
didn't know if you chimed back
just,
in or
I was just saying the same as last time. I mean, I think K4K also brought up some good points. Richard doesn't do anything that hasn't been tested before. He doesn't like stuff that competes with his other existing products in the ecosystem. So, well, I mean, again, I have to see the flow diagram and everything because I do, if it is just another way of rewarding and more Pulse tokens, it does seem like more sell pressure just for Pulse, whereas you could just dump that off on an incentive.
I don't understand how it's more sell pressure for Pulse though.
That's what it earns for staking your incentive token, right?
Is that any different than what you earn for staking Pulse though? So is delegating Pulse a sell pressure for Pulse? Because there's not even a time lock on staking your Pulse.
Right. You would only have it for like 24 hours and then you probably have to shift over to another validator.
Whereas this is, you're not even going to receive that Pulse until your time commitment's up. So I don't understand how it's an increase on sell pressure of Pulse.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to see a flow diagram of it, and again, it's just. It seems like it could be potentially emulating something of HEX. Again, if it is something like he doesn't like it competing against projects, he likes stuff that's been done already. And then I think there is something to be said with keep it simple. And I understand it seems simple to you, but to other people, it might lose them. And it was kind of like a word salad. I got lost a couple of times. I just do better visually. So when that comes out, I'll be able to more eloquently speak upon it.
Sure.
I do like the easy explanation of, kind of just like it's an incentive token. So yeah, it's like,
well, I'd be curious to talk about what's the current game theory that makes the incentive token worth anything other than just hopefully more people buy it than sell it into oblivion.
All right. And that's exactly
why do people buy Bitcoin?
Because there's a fixed
spend
supply.
it or mine it.
Yeah, and fixed supply.
Yeah, and reduced inflation every 4 years. That's literally it, which is kind of what Richard has already hinted at.
And that did the 6.9 million.
So is that like the ultimate game theory for the incentive token? I can agree with that. The reduced inflation over time. I mean, that's a pumpamental. I can agree with that. But is that enough to?
Maybe it's not enough for you.
I don't know. I mean, Cake has reducing inflation over time,
to buy and hold,
and the price is going down.
I mean, if you look at it, Richard never even really liked liquidity farming from the beginning. So I mean, he might not be as motivated to put all his efforts into making the LP token as great as the premier tokens as far as PulseX, Pulse, HEX, and all that stuff. It just might not be his focus.
Sure.
And he might not be as. He might just really not care as much about the incentive token. I mean, look, it's been.
Sure.
It's the last to even be named at this point. He hasn't even bothered to give it a. He leaves that on his fucking to-do list of I need to name this. Like he's really. I guarantee you that's at the bottom of his list. I mean, I think he eventually will get here. These discussions will be had more and more frequently towards the end, probably like in the Pulse plan chat and everything. But like right now, I don't think it's high on his priority list.
Sure.
And so like, will he get more of a pump middle than just like, hey, it's decreasing inflation over time, and that one pump middle alone already outcompetes all the other incentive tokens. So cool. I mean,
doesn't Cake have decreasing inflation over time, or is it totally variable?
Does it?
I was under the impression that the APY for Cake is way lower now than it was 6 months ago.
I don't know. I don't know if it's decreasing or if it's variable. I have to look into it.
It may be variable, but I do know that as of today, it's lower than it was in a reasonable time frame in the past.
I think they might just be able to, yeah, they might just be able to change it pretty soon. But I'll look into it.
I guess my thing is, it's like, how could you? I mean, you can, but you came this far in a sense of the ecosystem. So why would you leave this loop in a sense not closed, or at least tightened up a little bit, and just leave it be like, okay, well, this is the one you can dump kind of thing. So this is why I love this kind of discussion there, right? Because it's like we've made it this far, and then it's like, okay, well, here's the incentive token. It's going to be like the other incentive tokens to where, or you just dump it away, and then you're kind of like, oh, okay, the chart isn't as pretty. It's not likely going to be as pretty as the others, but you could think of something like this to actually tie it back in and minimize that, or incentivize the incentive token, if you will, to get back into the system in a way. Now where does the pulse go and stuff like that, I'd love to see the numbers, which we will one day when Orca releases this wonderful video. But
sure.
K4K, you were about to say something.
What? No, it's just.
No, I saw your avatar, flash or whatever.
Yeah, I was just laughing.
Okay.
Just you think which coin you're gonna dump. Something like this comes along, like, well, better hang on to that one.
Well, like, right? I never had any intentions of like dumping. It was just gonna be reallocation when one's dipping and you have another one that's going on a massive run. Just reallocating into that coin. Like, I have no intentions of like dumping any of the premier assets on like the Richard Hart ecosystem, because it's all just vertically integrated. So all this stuff just feedbacks into each other. So I think you'd be.
Let me ask you, Motley, what is your off ramp, Motley? If we're not using anything from the Richard Hart network, which I agree, that's the good stuff. What is the off ramp for people to eventually take profits?
You're just talking about like a fiat on an off ramp?
Sure.
I mean, Richard Hart told us to build it. He's like, yeah, he's like, that's the most important thing. You Hexicans can get out there and build it.
You're on your own, guys. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
I think he kind of left that up to us. I mean, for the most part, the little bit that I have sold has just been usually just helping in the onboarding process, honestly, and just doing some OTC stuff.
Yeah,
about it.
And that's an honest question. Is like, at what point do you take profit? What point do you reward yourself after the delayed gratification?
I personally didn't take profits until right up to the 2-year mark. I didn't sell anything. I just kept working. I think it was like right before the London event, I took my first profits. That entire time, I just kept buying. But I mean, that's unique to the individual.
Hey, y'all, I got an obligation I'm going to have to commit myself to, but I really appreciate being on the show. I just got to head out. And really good questions, K4K. I really appreciate it. Motley, Big K, HexRay. I think those are, obviously things that I want to address. So now I'll know kind of what to give credence to in addition to the explanation that I planned on. So I really appreciate that feedback. Cool. Thanks, guys.
Well, thanks, man. This is going to be a stream I think a lot of people are going to glean a lot from. And if you could, before you go, shill your Twitter,
Sure.
YouTube. Yeah, where can we all find you?
Yep, just HEX Orca. So HEX Orca on YouTube. It has a space on YouTube. On Twitter, it's HEX Orca, no spaces. So I appreciate you letting me do that.
Oh, absolutely. It's just a community that's, constantly, a think tank,
You bet.
especially lately. Especially with you leading spaces. So certainly appreciate it, man. So thanks for stopping by and giving us a couple hours.
You bet. I appreciate everything you guys do, especially looking forward to like Daytona 500 and stuff like that. So keep it up, y'all. Had a ton of fun today and hope we can do it again.
All right.
Thanks, bro.
Later.
Peace, y'all.
Yo. So that was a fun think tank of 2 hours.
I feel like we all deserve college credit at this point. Like at least a quarter of a college credit for that.
Yeah, it's just such good stuff. I'm gonna have to go back and listen to it again. I do like AI's point. Why would Richard Hart just not even think about it? You know, it's literally not his style. I agree with that. There's gonna be, you know, talks about all this stuff, and I'm sure they've already discussed it. And but yeah, it's to not even think about it. Yeah, totally not his style. So yeah. Yes, Nerd Factory are us. It felt like that. Just, you know, sitting in and listening to, you know, this good conversation. So good stuff. Well, we've gone on for a couple hours. What is left on the list here? So this Daytona 500 thing, Motley, we want to pump this up. This is our last happy hour before then.
Yeah. I guess we're gonna be there live here shortly, aren't we?
You were getting into town a couple days earlier than me. So anything that you can tell us? I know some things are definitely not concrete right now, but we're trying to organize meetups, and I know you're getting.
I'm hoping
merch together.
I'm hoping you can find me a space to park a damn RV, Cabana, Mr. Daytona expert.
Yeah, I don't. The RVs I've taken there have been like, we've gotten a lot like way beforehand, not like less than a week before the event, sir.
Yeah. I blame Ricky. Springing this whole, not only raising the money, but everything short term within a week or two. I have my wife literally in Facebook groups right now, reaching out to people like, hey, you want to sell your spot?
We'll pay you extra, double, triple.
There's nothing else available. It's all freaking gone. So I want a home base of operations for Hexicans to so we can do a tailgate kind of thing.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
I can't get the space.
I might have well, I don't know about all the week before. We'll have to talk afterwards, because I do have a bunch of rooms booked and at a place that has lot space as well. That's 3 minutes away. But we'll talk. Let's talk after this. Anyways,
okay. It would be cool to have it at the event, but worst case scenario, we'll do what we got to do.
No matter where you are down there, you're going to walk a lot because the facility is huge. So a few extra blocks isn't that big of a deal.
Well, I was also thinking it would just be kind of cool to be in the midst of everything too, right? Because that's again how we're just going to be out there promoting and getting eyeballs and merchandise and stuff.
Absolutely.
Outside of just the Hexicans that show up. I want to get to all the other NASCAR fans. So I want to be in the heat of it. It's not just for the Hexicans to have a home base operations, so we can reach out and promote and draw people in and stuff like that as well. So preferably I would like it to be at the event, but man, it's so damn cool. Everything's bought up, and doesn't matter how much money you have. No one's gonna give the damn space. You can't get in.
We're just very last minute. So
yeah.
Have you guys gone to a Daytona before?
No, Cabana has. I think he's the only one.
How many times, Cabana?
5 or 6 now, I think.
Is it really, really awesome and fun?
It is a great time. I will say that. Yeah. It depends upon what you're into. I love the racing.
Is it?
But I'm sorry?
Is it hours long?
I would say 3 hours at least.
Days
4.
long.
Days long?
Well, the whole
it's like a week-long event.
Yeah.
Well, what are they doing for the whole week?
Yeah. So here's the actual schedule. Quarter Panda, shout out to him. And
nice.
Practices and stuff.
The Hex site. Yeah. So this is hexdaytona.com. And just he simplified the TV schedule and put all the cup events onto one page. So if you go to the schedule page of it, I think it's more, and then race schedule.
We also just paid to shill his website out too. We just hired a PR company to shill out the Hex Daytona site.
Nice. So on here you can see the schedule. It's got all the TV listings as well. So I'm definitely going to refer people to this. I told Motley yesterday I'm going to try to do a video for Hexkins, just try to simplify the race experience for you. So I know we have a big community that has never even watched NASCAR before. So I'm just going to at least try to provide some basics in a very short video, hopefully, that everybody can at least have some things to look for, and it's not going to take too much every time, but hopefully enhance the experience for you. So I'm going to get to work on that, I think tomorrow, maybe by the weekend. I hope to have that out and published. So here's the big day is Thursday. Actually, Wednesday, we'll actually know if we're in the race yet, because I think if we're one of the 2 of the 6 or 7 single lap cars that is trying to qualify, if we're in the top 2, I think that locks us in. If we're not, then on Thursday we have to race our way in. And I'm telling you, if we race
I hope we race Floyd.
That should be
sick.
I'm telling you right now,
Epic.
that should be celebrated almost as a victory. That would be that big.
Crazy eyeballs. If we get it in the same qualifying race as the money team, my God.
And just race our way in and make the show. It's huge.
That's a story in itself.
Yep, exactly.
So what's the numbers on it now? There's 6 slots and 4 people, or
let me pull up.
Yeah, what are our chances of getting past that?
8 cars and 6 slots, or
according to Vegas, we don't have very good odds. I got a very healthy bet on.
There are 6.
I think I saw that you put it all on black and it did not land on black.
No. This is different than the roulette wheel. All right.
Yeah, there are 6 slots open, and only 4 cars will get them. So as of now,
people are betting on who's going to get in, and no one's betting on our car. Is that what I'm hearing?
I mean, his odds, at one point I found somewhere on one of the sports books that it was plus 25,000, and I tried to put $1,000 bet on it, but it wouldn't go through. I was really confused, and then I eventually started lowering my bet, and then I realized the liquidity for my bet was way low. It didn't go through until I put through $100, and then they recalculated the odds, and I single-handedly pushed up JJ Yealy's odds up to plus 5,000, I think, at one point. The liquidity, the books for NASCAR betting isn't very thick, it looks like.
Nice.
Yeah, but I got $250,000 riding on JJ Yealy to take the whole thing for 1,000.
Let's go.
Yeah, it sounds good, right? I got $250,000.
Yeah, it sounds great. It's again, add it to the story once we win the whole damn thing.
That would be awesome if that got in documentary. Just overall would be the best possible outcome.
It would be epic. It really
have
would.
Mattress Mac, have Motley Mac now doing the.
It's a documentary, so we'll get the good and the bad. So even if we don't get it,
well, we didn't qualify, boys. On to the next race. I hope that doesn't happen. I really do, because I think we're gonna have a pretty good turnout of Hexicans too. So
do we get actual numbers on it, Cabana, on how many cars there are and how that?
Entry list I'm looking at right now. There are 42 cars going for 40 spots. 36 spots are locked in, so that means 4 cars for 6 slots.
Ooh, so that's tight. It's tight, y'all.
So I think the top 2 qualifiers on speed on Wednesday, out of those 6 cars, will make it, and then
4 race.
1 from each qualifying race will make it. So essentially, they're going to be racing against one other car in that race.
How do the qualifying races actually work? Is it literally just those 2 cars and they just go head to head?
No, it's the entire field. They want everybody racing. Yeah. So it's an official event. The entire lineups will be there. So all the odd numbered qualifiers are going to race in race 1, and all the even numbered qualifiers will race in race 2.
It's half the field in each qualifier.
Yep. 21 cars at least each.
Oh, that's crazy. Do you ever see accidents in the qualifiers?
People have left pissed off because their Daytona 500 car is wrecked. So yeah.
All right, it's getting spicy.
They try to incentivize them with money and trophies.
I'm really
and
bummed
stuff
I'm not coming in for this Thursday race, man. I want to. I want to be there for
you missing out, bro. That's a big part of the story.
Could be it. I'm telling you.
And this is another thing that was just announced yesterday. So the entire series or sport is in so dire of a need for parts that how we've been talking about
supply lines.
Yeah, the Daytona 500 car we've been saying, always gets put in the museum or Daytona Hall of Fame outside Turn 4. That's
They're
not
gonna
even
salvage
happening
that
this
bitch.
year because there's a supply shortage on parts. They need the parts that bad that part is going to go, or that car is going to go back to the garage.
Can they leave the shell at least
No, what they're going to do is they're going to scan it. They're going to scan the body, confetti,
and make an
all.
NFT?
No. and put a replica in the.
Oh my god!
Because they need the
Like one of
parts.
those giant plastic mold dinosaur replicas from the museums. Just like
It's a
put the car
fossil.
put in there.
A fossil of the Hex.com car.
Yeah, but they're going to scan it with all the confetti and booze all over it and everything. So
we'll be if we win, we'll be the first one that they do that with, even if it is lame. Still,
The Hex.com car had to go back to the digital world. Sorry, guys.
Only on Hex Toys, Hex.toys. Yeah, you can find it in digital form someday, perhaps. But yeah. Oh, let's see. What else do we have here? Oh yeah, that big game comes up on Sunday. Anybody have any picks? I know Motley doesn't even know who's playing, so I'll just skip over to Big K.
Bengals. There you go.
Who do you got? Bengals or Rams? Big K.
I don't know. The Bengals are hot, but I really do like I love the Rams. So I'm gonna probably go with the Rams.
Yeah, I agree. HexRayVision.
Yeah, Rams at home.
Yeah, I mean, my heart is with Joe Burrow and the Bengals, but their defense is so horrible and their offensive line. Well, their defense isn't that bad, but their offensive line is horrible. I just don't know how they'll do against Aaron Donald and.
I'm real surprised that they got this far.
Yeah,
so good
absolutely.
Good
K4K take on the Super Bowl.
It's gonna be the Bengals.
Oh, nice.
There you go.
Just a
It's
casual
50-50 in my mind, so whatever.
Yeah, take the underdog. Why not? Make the money. Yeah.
I just like saying Bengals. That's my reason for picking it.
Scotty Does Know would like to come on. I think we can get you on here.
To talk about his incentives token.
Yeah,
with
he's
no game theory yet.
jonesing here.
I don't know how you're bullish on the token with no game theory implemented yet, but
in the meantime, can we talk about
who is that? Isn't there some guy who's been he's been excited
I've been bullish on this for
6
6 months. It's like, bro, it doesn't even have a name, let alone what it does.
It must be a joke. I guess because everyone else isn't bullish, he's like, "That's mine, dude.
That's my ticket."
I mean, I buy it all up for $1.
Yep.
What's going on with the whale watching that you guys had mentioned here? 666D and C5. I know C5's been continuing to move out of Ethereum into USDC.
Yeah,
it looks like he's getting a lot of dry powder ready.
Yeah, I just had a note in there. I think he's the most interesting one right now, or that wallet is the most interesting one, just because he's amassing USDC, sold another few thousand ETH, I think, recently. So, I mean, speculation on it's fun to speculate that he would, buy Hex before the fork and take the, as much of the remaining supply as possible. Another possibility is just uses it as liquidity. I think, probably more likely, but any takes on why C5 is amassing the USDC, or he's just getting out of ETH because he sees a bear coming, a giant bear.
I think that, he's hedging his bets against a 3-year, watching, Bitcoin and Ethereum go back to the bottom of the ocean for the bear market.
Like Richard telling him it's going down 95.
Yeah.
Like, wait, this has been right before.
$80 ETH doesn't look as good at that point, You might want to have some stables.
Hey, Scotty, check your Telegram real quick.
What are the small moves that 666D's up to right now? I haven't caught up on that.
Little ones.
Yeah, just really little. I just
X and then 10,000 X or something like that.
Yeah, transferred like Big K said, like 100,000 and then 1,000. I don't know, maybe just like a test transaction for something else that could occur. I don't know, maybe from another wallet. I'm not sure, but yeah, it was just noteworthy that I hadn't seen anything from that wallet move in how many days before now? It was like 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 3 months, and then 10 days ago, yeah, transferred out $1 million, and then just today transferred out 100,000 and another 1,000, which is weird. So, but that 100,000 that was transferred today hadn't moved the last time I checked. So, I just
well. I think we wait for Scotty to come here and sell us on his incentive token and how.
I know. Come on, Scotty.
I think K4K should go over PulseX because we haven't touched on PulseX at all. And K4K is like my spirit animal when it comes to PulseX because this thing's going to melt people's faces and people were sleeping on it earlier. And then after Richard Hart's tweet of it being able to be staked and earn the incentive token, like PulseX is going to be a monster. And we haven't even really touched it on this episode. We just speculated on some game theory on incentive token that doesn't even have a name yet.
That's yeah.
So I think we bring it back to PulseX a little bit.
Yeah.
PulseX is pretty nutty.
It's insane, dude. I think it's
really
I mean,
smart
and
to put the coins into like the revenue share one, you know?
Yeah.
And then you don't get the dumpage. It's just really interesting that like I almost wanted to make a tweet, and I was like, I should just do my own research because I was just curious if anybody knew of any other coins that you really just earn this other coin with no risk to yourself of the coin you're putting in.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, there's got to be some, but this one does it, so I don't care about the other one. So I'm like, all right, it's doing it for us. Plus, if it has any of this volume that we've seen other dexes have, it's going to be crazy buyback and burn potentially from that address. Gosh, it's so fun talking about that address that you can't expect anything from. Love using 30 words to describe it.
Yeah, it's no longer automated, but man, I have a feeling if we watch it, it's going to do exactly what it was going to do automatically when we thought it was still possible.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's I don't understand why people have been sleeping on PulseX from the beginning. Like, I think, and people want more, and I kind of don't want to change the narrative because I at least thought there was going to be a huge buying opportunity for PulseX in the beginning because the community, a lot of the community members are essentially going to use it to try to trade back over and get some of the Pulse because they feel like they didn't sacrifice enough, or maybe they missed out on the Pulse sacrifice altogether. I was like, all right, sweet. I just get to amass even more PulseX on a discount. But like, I feel like people are slowly starting to catch on, and like, I don't really want to keep pushing the narrative in the other direction, but like, it just drives me nuts when people like are just like, yeah, I'm just going to trade my PulseX for Pulse. So it's like, I think PulseX is going to beat the brakes off Pulse, honestly. At least in like, I know we talked about it on Nights of Crypto, but I think within like the first year of mainnet launching, I think it just runs so much harder than pretty much anything else, just with how it's designed, its fundamentals. And then like Richard just added that staking feature on top of it. It's just like, oh yeah, it's like a no-brainer now.
I'm really hoping, well, I don't want to say.
What?
Do
What?
it.
Go ahead.
Do it.
What? Come on.
Drop
it. Well, it's not even like, it's not like, I don't know. It's nothing crazy. I just don't want that. I would hate it if it'd be unfortunate if that was added to PulseX so that the buyback and burn wouldn't, then you'd be like, well, if it's not getting the buyback and burn, at least it has this thing, like if it was a reason to give it.
No, I think I'd be very surprised if they took away the buyback and burn.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, because like there's no, the only reason I thought that is because like, dude, this is too much for one coin.
Too good. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like, if it is
it's like a god tier token now. It's like it's up there with fucking Hex. Like it's gonna be like a god tier. Yes.
God tier.
It's god tier token at that point because you did the math on it. What was it like? 600 million.
Every $1 billion of volume is 600K buy pressure.
600 buyback. It's completely deflationary. Burning those tokens out of existence. You can single side stake it with no risk and earn the incentive token. As PulseChain does better, it's already the largest airdrop. It's already going to be the largest liquidity farm
in our pool or in our PulseX decks. So that's
all
more
the
potential volume.
All the other dexes are going to get harvested. We're going to be the premier dex. Everything's going to flow through us. We're like the heart of PulseChain. And as PulseChain and everything becomes more successful, like we just ramp up that much harder. Like
Oh yeah, more
PulseX
volume.
is
Just
a
there's
monster.
no limit on how much it can increase potential buy
Right.
conversion. It's like there's no
Right.
cap.
Yeah.
It's
As
not
we
like,
become
oh,
more
that's the
successful, it
best
just
we
keeps
can
growing.
do. Yeah, and it's extra buy pressure. What's extra? That's if no one else bought. How many times do I have to tell people that? And then people they look at like Ethereum and other layer ones, and they're like, layer one always does well, and then they think because they said a fact that they're right about everything else after that. So so they're like, and so it's like totally non sequitur to be like, and so it'll do better than PulseX. It's like that's not how it works.
Right.
So then you just have to show them it's like, okay, these layer ones do well. And also these DEXs, they haven't been around very long. They've only been around for like 2 years, 2.5
Since the launch of
years.
HEX, essentially Uniswap was the first one,
Yep.
close to the same time we launched.
Yep. And so wait till you see these DEXs, which opened up this whole new world of DeFi, like a whole new branch.
What
Like,
crypto was supposed to be.
right. So like that's what DEX. If you can get revenue,
This is
share
where we're
in a
trending.
DEX where no one can be stopped from trading, and you can get some of the revenue share of all of the trading in the world eventually. It's like, dude, that's the biggest potential revenue stream ever.
Yep.
The best.
I think that when we see the OA or some mysterious person drop a few $1 billion in after, after February 21st, 25th, that's going to be I think that'll tell a lot about what some people think about PulseX, is that when that OA comes in and grabs his bag at the end, that's what I'm waiting for.
Is there anyone here that does not think that will happen?
Nope.
Okay. Just asking.
I mean, it's like proven game theory at this point. Like, why would the OA not do it?
I think there are some out there I've seen, but yeah, remnants. But yeah, John Wick
Some
kind
people
of nailed
say
it with the PulseChain, and yeah, I think this is definitely going to happen.
If you have a proven model, like continue to use it.
Yeah, for sure. Funding Jim showed up. What's
What's up,
up?
Gary?
I guess we're all avatars today. There's no real people in here anymore.
HexRay and I are
My
real,
camera
man.
doesn't work.
Welcome. What's going on?
Yeah, so there's so many things are going on. I mean, so many things are going on. Some are obviously known and out there. Some of them are just going to come to the surface, kind of around the Peter Schiff thing. I wanted to pop on for a couple of things. One is, the spam element of, just tagging people on Twitter that you don't know, that, emailing out people that you don't know, things like that. I don't know that that's really effective. But if you do have someone that's in your 1 degree of separation and they have any kind of influence, doesn't really matter if they're in crypto, doesn't matter if they're, fashion, they're into cars, they're into anything. We're going to be doing this stream. I want to reiterate that from the 21st of February until the 25th of February, HEX Orca is going to be operating the primary Twitter room for the Twitter Spaces. I've already got people that have followings of 500,000 people, and they speak specifically finance. So pretty high level people that will come on to the at least the space if they don't do video. But we're also going to be doing simulcast of the YouTube, and we want people to, at the very minimum, get out there and start recording, this content, and record it in the best, format that you can. So we're going to be recording the Twitter rooms as far as our cell phone and our screen recordings, so that we can highlight who actually comes into the room, how long they stay, how long they're gone out. I think that's going to be good PR, even if they're just passive listeners. Also, we're going to be doing Twitter as one thing, YouTube live stream as a record-setting 4-day live stream thing as well. Even though it's not a conference, it's just going to be constant stream. And then we're also going to be doing TikTok. I've got people that have 4 million to 5 million followers on TikTok, and they're going to be coming on. We've got Instagram Live. People, if they are into Instagram Live. So the 4-day event, a couple of things. Peter Schiff and Richard will be in the middle. The organizer that's going to be doing the moderating, he is very well known. He'll reveal himself later. I'll have a special link, basically, that will reveal like all of the plan of him as the moderator. He's out of Australia. Richard obviously will have his content being shot from the film, So is Peter Schiff. He's already, going to have the film people flying out to be at his house for his studio. So it's going to be a big deal. And, I may or may not, I can't guarantee. I do have, verbal commitment from Robert Kiyosaki and from Kim Kiyosaki, separate entities, to come onto the Discourse Syndicate to be part of this this 96-hour thing. Whether they hold to that or not, it's up to them, because they're just being gracious, and I'm booking them through their PR people. So as long as they don't have a conflict, then they'll pop on sometime in the 96-hour thing. And I really want these people to do it, before Richard lays waste to gold bugs. So I'm trying to do this, basically the 21st and 22nd. That's my goal. But yeah, if anybody hears this stream, one, don't just hashtag and don't just at, mindlessly people that you think might be interested. If you don't have a direct relationship, a first degree relationship, if you can't make a first, warm handoff to someone else, don't do it. I just say that because I don't want these guys flooded and think that, they're just getting spammed. I have good contacts. There's a lot of people that have good contacts. Forward it to one of us that politically or strategically can get these guys committed to be on channel. Two is record, get out there, figure out how you're going to do screen captures with sound, get the best quality versions you can, because we can't, guarantee that one person is going to record 96 hours. The Twitter space guy, when HEX Orca did it through Twitter, we broke Twitter, and Twitter wouldn't give him the voice recordings. So, do the backup system of all the people that are going to participate. If it is a fashion related person, if it's a car related person, if it's a festival music person, if it's a celebrity of some sort that has any network, and you have any kind of like first degree contact, or someone that has first degree contact that you're very, very, very close with, then try to make that warm introduction, and you can forward it either to me or to HEX Orca or any of basically the HEX OGs. All the guys on camera here I think of as OGs. So, do your part to kind of forward it to people that can, at least have the gravitas and kind of get this organized, because it's going to be a whirlwind. I think it's going to be absolutely epic. And I think we're going to have, 96 hours worth of clips of 2-minute little sound bites that we can take out of this stuff. It's going to be really good. I'm really, really excited.
Outstanding. Well,
Awesome.
I
You always
posed
bring the awesome news, Funding Jim.
Yeah, thank you. I posed the question to Big K earlier. Perhaps Funding Jim might be able to give us a little confirmation of a nugget. Do you know or think that the Richard Hart Peter Schiff debate will be a YouTube viewable video?
I know that the organizer has a registration thing. I know that he's going to give over, the 30,000 or 40,000 that he expects as far as people to register. It's going to be people that are really kind of out of the crypto space. Yes, Richard Hart is a crypto guy. Yes, we all are concerned with our anonymity, and we don't like to give up our email addresses and IP and all that kind of stuff. I understand that. But a majority of the world out there doesn't do that. Most of the world out there registers to watch a free seminar or something like that, because ultimately this is an event planner guy that's run a business for 35 years. His regular friends and contacts are, Tony Robbins, Kiyosaki's been booked through him before, Schiff's been booked through him before. So these are event planners. That's his model, that's his business. And he's building out, a very nice landing page for the non-crypto. I'm so paranoid that I'm not going to tell anybody about myself. And that's what that landing page will be for. So I think it will be streamed. I don't know that it would necessarily be, I do believe it's going to be YouTube streamed out. I know that Richard's going to do that. He'll at least send out his version of the copy. I know that, he's excited about it and all that stuff like that. So I'm sure he wants to broadcast live version the way he always does. And there's no bars as far as I understand. I'm being told, that this is how it's going to go out, that the non-crypto people will, have a landing page, we'll have a link. The link will, all of that content, if you do register, you might get some extra bonus footage or something like that. But there's no promises yet as far as the early peaks. But it's going to be, as far as I know, live streamed out also on YouTube and all these other Twitter stuff. We're also going to be broadcasting anything that we have, as far as I know. But the general public wants to feel like they have an in, and he's going to send it out to his mailing list. If they've previously registered with Tony Robbins seminars, then they're going to get an invitation email, because the email is already in his rosters and databases. So there's potential, who knows, of hundreds of thousands of people in his bulk mail out invitation. Who knows? I don't know how big it's going to be as far as the event. Who follows Richard Hart and who follows Peter Schiff will be most interested, but there'll be other people that are just curious about crypto or curious about gold.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming on and giving us that info. It's just so much in such a short time this month. It feels like coming up. I mean, we have the Daytona event, we have this Twitter Spaces event, we have Richard and Peter Schiff. I believe Blue Bomb was trying to set up him and Nomad Capitalist as well at some point in the near future. Maybe it's already happened. I don't know. So,
there's so many things. There's obviously that is going on. I'm flying to I'm in Miami right now, but I fly in the morning to San Antonio to meet the German guys. I'm picking up the supercar or whatever, because they need to do their return to their motherland kind of thing and come back. I'm going to be in when the broadcast. I have a military reunion I'll be doing in between, but I'm going to drive basically 1,000 miles or whatever it is from Houston area to Phoenix in that car. And the 21st to the 25th, when this live stream event is supposed to happen, I'll be in Scottsdale. So if anybody is in the Phoenix area, and that's one reason why I think also, if I don't physically visit his podcast studio, I think that I can get Kiyosaki involved with this broadcast. We'll see how it goes.
Outstanding. K4K, I think you got a exit here. I think we're going to wrap here soon. But yeah, thanks, man. I just wanted to say, give you an opportunity to exit, and thank you for coming on, man. It was great questions with you and Orca. That was good stuff.
Yeah.
And where can we find you?
Badass win on the trivia, man.
And
very,
the trivia.
nice
Congratulations.
I totally forgot I won already, man.
Thanks a lot, man.
The enema king.
The enema king.
That cannot stick. Okay.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, you guys can reach me. I have a YouTube channel, K4KCrypto on YouTube, and my Twitter's at K4KCrypto. Nice and easy peasy. Thanks for having me on Cabana Crypto. And Lit from My Life is Awesome says, thank you for all you do. And he says, what up? I'm going to go do an interview with him, so that's why I'm leaving.
Before
what up, Lit? And shout out to all the fire roasteds out there.
Before K4 goes, I want to hear from K4K. You can only own one coin to rule them all out of the ecosystem. You can only own one coin to rule them all out of the ecosystem. What is that?
I don't know. I haven't heard everything from this guy who, for 6 months, loved the incentive token. So maybe that's the best
Scotty.
I mean, everybody knows I'm just going to say PulseX. So it just it hits all the boxes. So
don't worry, that makes
than I knew there was.
That makes Gary very happy. Don't worry.
There's a lot of happy
very,
people
very,
here.
very happy. I'm glad that everyone hears that very loudly.
It makes Gary happy. Why? I'm guessing you went big in PulseX. So.
Yes, you did.
$20 in, man. I want it to go to 100.
Let's go. All right. Good talking to you guys. Can't wait to link up in Vegas too. For the HEX conference. All right. Peace out, everybody.
Man. Thanks for K4K.
Later.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that checks most of the boxes for the evening. Do you have anything else there, Gary, before we go?
No, I'm out. I've got a business dinner in about 20 minutes, so I got to go. But I'm really happy about everything that everyone's doing. This pulling the same rope tug of war. I think we're really going to pull strong in the next 6 to 12 months. Amazingly strong. And if we can keep the drama stuff out of the picture, the synergy is amazing right now. It's we're really, really, hitting on all cylinders. So just keep that up. And anything you can do as far as, again, the warm handoff versus the spam kind of thing of people of influence inside your network. Hopefully this, these hedge fund managers that know a lot and they talk from Toyota cars. I I want those kind of network people to come on the stream and actually learn something, not about HEX, not about Richard Hart, but about this movement. This community is unbeatable, absolutely unbeatable, amazing community.
Couldn't have said it better. Absolutely. Well, thank you, Gary, for stopping by and for everything that you're doing out there. I was talking about you earlier before you even got here, the work that you're doing, and even RG3 is, doing onboarding. This is the true definition of community. So thanks so much.
Thanks, guys. See you later.
Thank you, brother.
Thanks. All right. Well, this has turned into a fun show. Yes. Russ, good to see you. I saw you there earlier in chat. Yeah, it's amazing community. And this amazing community also is responsible for fun moments and memes and wonderful segments of the show. Motley Investor.
I knew
the
that
fuck
was
is
coming.
this?
Man, figured that was going to be a thing. I can't even read it. It's too small on my phone.
The two emotional states of a hexagon. Exhilaration during pump, greed during dump.
Nice.
Yeah. Thanks to, I believe, Hexter Morgan for that wonderful
standard
image. It was funny because when he saw, I guess, that photo I posted side by side, he was like, "What I see is opportunity."
See meme material. Pretty much. Pretty much. That was brain works.
So before we go, it is a big fight weekend. Motley Investor, have you looked at the main event card here?
No, actually, I haven't looked at it at all. I just know I'm going out with some buddies to go watch it, but I have no clue who's on it.
Well, let's look at it really quick because we do like it, like this UFC stuff on the show. So maybe just like the
we
top
got
two.
Adesanya? Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah.
Hello.
I guess
Nice.
start with the Derek Lewis and Tuivasa. You know anything about
Oh,
Tuivasa?
yeah,
I know
Tuivasa's-
Lewis just
he's-
throws bombs, but yeah.
Yeah, Tuivasa's the same thing. He's a crazy. I think he's an Aussie because he does the shoey after every time he wins. He goes and grabs beers from.
Oh,
audience
that's the
and
shoey guy.
Yeah, that's the shoey guy.
Okay,
So
yeah,
so
totally
he
does.
starts.
Oh,
doing
this is gonna be
shoeys.
awesome then.
Yeah. So they both just throw absolute bombs and they're both crazy. I'm going with Derek Lewis because I mean, I don't know. He's just an animal. He hits just as hard as like Nagano does. So I go him, but man, you can't count the shoey. He's crazy too. So that'll be a banger for sure. But I think
Flame
Derek
says
Lewis.
he is an Aussie. Yeah, all right.
Derek Lewis for that one.
Seems like a Hawaiian name or something. Tuivasa.
Yeah, no, he's definitely Australian. I remember the interviews. Barely understand him.
Ty's a savage. Well, you're hating on their Aussie man, saying
I'm not hating on him. I fucking love him. I just think Derek Lewis is probably going to knock him out.
hating by not picking him. That's all.
Yeah. That's right.
And Israel Adesanya versus Whitaker. These guys
Adesanya.
have fought before. You're just going with
Adesanya. Yeah. Man, yeah. Sorry, Aussies. I'm not being too kind to you.
I mean,
guys
we've
right
seen
now.
some upsets. I mean, Amanda Nunes got knocked out, so maybe this
Dude,
is a trend.
Adesanya embarrassed him last time. Pieced him up. Made him look like a scrub. And I like Robert Whitaker. I think he's a beast, but I think he's just less refined. He's a little bit more of a kind of like animalistic brawler, and Adesanya is just technically too good of a reach champ. Yeah, I think he takes that one pretty easily.
Nice. Flames wants Whitaker. All right, nice.
I bet. Yeah, they're all biased. They all want the Aussies to win. Good luck. Good luck.
Bobby for the win. Yes. All right, gents. Well, this takes us to the end of this show on a Thursday. As for next week's schedule, I am unsure. What I do know is I'm trying to put out that NASCAR kind of viewer's guide for Hexkins. It's going to be hopefully like just really short, just the basics, for the community. Hopefully just, again, simple stuff that you can keep an eye out for without making it too complicated. Next week, might try to do a happy hour Tuesday. We tossed around with these guys, but I know Motley's going to be in Florida, so maybe, I don't know, maybe I can find a time on Friday when I'm down there, maybe earlier in the afternoon. I know I can't do it at the normal time, so maybe like a 3 o'clock for like an hour or something, but I'll get together with the rest of the co-hosts here.
We'll be out there.
And we will figure out the schedule for the next couple of weeks, since I will be on the road But
Is the highest of stakes going to be out there Thursday, Big K? Or are they coming out when you come out on Friday? You know?
I mean, there's
rumors.
We're working on it.
Can you imagine they come out and they don't we don't qualify?
Like I said,
we're
we're filming a documentary here. It could be good, it could be bad. There's ups, there's downs. You know,
we flew in to see our car.
We came
and
here
it was
to film
gone.
a car. Yeah, pretty much.
It was already back in Charlotte.
Back on the truck.
They have to fly up to Charlotte and get the crew reactions and stuff. Yeah.
No, I mean, like I said, we'll get what we get. Like I said, good is good or bad. Hopefully it's as early as that. Like I said, I'm trying to work out my schedule to free up some earlier stuff. So if we'll see. Talk more.
Nice.
I don't have a flight out yet. Let's put it like that.
Oh, yeah. I hear rental cars are awful. I know a few people looking for them. They can't even get them. So it's like a shortage of everything
when
now.
you go through. Not when you're getting the fancy ones on the. If you go through Turo,
Mr. Black Car, yeah.
I mean, you can, like I said, you can get even like basic ones. If you're looking in the area, look for Turo. That stuff works great.
With the hotel and stuff.
No, Turo, like for the cars, for like.
I thought it was like a package.
It's
thing.
like
Maybe
Uber. No, it's like an Uber app but like it's like person to person car rental. So like I can rent you can rent anybody's, like you can rent a Kia on there, or you can rent like a Maserati or whatever you want. I mean, it's all Ferrari.
No, I know a few people coming out of state that are having trouble, for longer rides. Yeah, not like.
Well, yeah, that is
around
that
town.
is
Yeah,
that's tough.
Yeah, that's tight. Motley Investor, we will close out this week. Where can we find you, my good man? And did I miss the Knights of Crypto? Did you say you guys?
No, okay. I don't think we did this week.
Okay.
Yeah, you can find me Motley Investor on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all the places. Same old.
Same old. Well, for those that are new.
Yeah, for all three of you that are new, you can find me at Motley Investor everywhere.
We have more viewers right now than we've had like in a few weeks now. So this is a great discussion tonight. Yeah. So Big K, where can we find you?
You can find me at Big Kakowski on Telegram, on Twitter, same thing, Big Kakowski. You can find me in Daytona with the Highest of Stakes crew. So go check out the highestofstakes.com, see what we're getting done there.
And hopefully a happy hour team photo. Vince, do you hear me?
Yes, Vince should. That's right. It would be fantastic. I'd love to see that.
In front of the car even would be great, but yeah.
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing. I'm very into that. Anyways, those are the places you can find me. Hopefully Bingo Earth once we have Pulse lift off. So
And HexRayVision, man, I enjoy listening to your streams. I say listening because that's just the time frame. I think when you end up streaming fits my listening schedule. So you had an excellent stream, I believe, with David Feeder. Rags to Riches.
Every Sunday we do a tech talk with Rags to Riches and David Feeder. And last week, if you haven't seen it, we lured on Randy Hilarski, which is a hero of mine, and Crypto Coffee, which always is great to
Coffee
learn
was
from.
there.
So
and Randy.
If you guys haven't seen that, please go back and watch that. They were amazing. I do have to I ordered a tombstone that said that I had won trivia on Crypto Cabana, so I'll be returning that this weekend. But this week we
come back and try again another time.
Yeah. And this Sunday we're doing Tech Talk at a special time to accommodate our special guest K4K. So if you can't get enough of that sweet K4K, we're going to be doing that at noon Mountain Time, 2 p.m. Eastern this weekend. So that's on Sunday. So I really appreciate all the love. Like I said, our community just grows exponentially in awesomeness and brain power, and I love it. I love being a part of it. So can't wait to see you guys in Vegas at both events down there as well.
Awesome, man. So I guess, are you towards the west?
Yeah, I'm just a couple hours from Vegas. Like I said,
okay.
So I'm in Mountain Standard Time, like Kinetics. And so I'm always putting stuff in Eastern time because we got a bunch of people back there. And I am going to go to Crypto World Con April 1st and 2nd in Miami. So if any of you guys are around in Miami, I'll be the guy handing out the Pulse and HEX stickers and buttons. You know,
Nice.
getting into fights with other people at the conference or so, I don't know.
We are a kind community. This is
We
how
are
we
a kind community.
on board and expand.
Very, very cool. And I'm honored to be here. Thank you so much for the invite. I really appreciate it.
Oh, heck yeah, man. I've enjoyed your streams for a long time. Just haven't had the chance to get you on. I thought this would be like a great topic considering some of the great chats you've had recently about PulseChain and PulseX on your show. And yeah, it's definitely on my kind of must list now of show. My list is getting too long now because we have so many great content creators. It's just an awesome problem to have. So yeah, it's bad. Benny Blanco, yes, I think he put your channel link in there. So go sub, guys. Yes, it was a heavy lineup. This was awesome. So thank you to all of our guests. Thank you to Racker Michelle for the awesome super chat. K4K, HexRay, Motley, Big K, Funding Jim, Orca. I mean, come on. That I'm gonna have to timestamp a couple of those moments, and I'll probably tweet that out, and I'll definitely timestamp this video because it was a great discussion there. Probably about an hour in, if you're coming in delay. So that is that. We will cap a lid on it. Thank you so much, guests, Motley, Big K, HexRayVision. Thank you, chat. You guys were awesome again. And we will see you sometime next week. Just stay tuned to Twitter. And for all the visuals, Motley Investor on Instagram, because I have a feeling he's going to have plenty of Daytona content.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
As will I, Cabana Crypto on Instagram next week. So follow those accounts as well. And we will see you soon. Thank you so much, everybody.